whole family west, but it's whatever.
In a glass house, still throwing stones.
Hover.
Jesus, watch the thongs. You did some things to me. Or you do some things to me. My love is deeper than your pain. And I believe you can change, baby. The ups and downs are worth it. Long way to go, but we're working. We're flawed, but we're still perfect for each other. Yeah. Sometimes I thought we'd never see the light. We went through hell with heaven on our side. This beach ain't always been no paradise. The nightmares only last one night.
No more pubs and Cali curfews.
One night. Just private affairs in a tighter circle. One night.
Large format wines and small settings. Woo! Just hood ass niggas in designer suits.
Ooh, follow my moves on the truth and a liar boots. Yeah.
Amelia
Y'all flyer than who?
Fake news y'all choose, we know lie. No Photoshop, just real life.
You did some things to me. Or you do some things to me. My love is deeper than your pain. And I believe you can change, baby. The ups and downs are worth it. Long way to go, but we're working. We're flawed, but we're still perfect for each other. Sometimes I thought we'd never see the light. We went through hell with heaven on our side. This beach ain't always been no paradise. The nightmares only last one night. Look at us now. Pray for the vows. Way up now. It's a long way down, girl. We came in, we saw, and we conquered it all. We came in, we conquered, now we're happy in love. Love, happy. Love,
Come on and hit me where it hurts. I used trying to touch the sky. Hold on to the melodies, sing out each word, play that sweet symphony. Don't know where my friends have gone. Life's so low, the music's high. I'm letting go, now I got all I need. I don't need love to have a good time, nobody to make me feel alright. Only need me, only need me to have a good time. I only need me, myself, and I. I only need me, myself, and I. I'll be dancing here alone, move like no one's watching me. Could go all night and be the last to leave. Oh yeah, I'll get just what I deserve, and God knows I know what I'm worth. I don't need love to have a good time, nobody to make me feel alright. Only need me, only need me.
You lie, I lie, we say the wrong things all the time. Back and forth we seem to go, play the victim, steal the show. Oh, oh, you try, I try so hard to cover up our eyes, but why, oh, why can't we give up on our pride? Oh, oh, there's one way for us to get through this, believing in second chances, 'cause baby, they are not useless. So this is do or die, do or die. I know we are worth the fight, worth the fight. No dear, we can never let this break us. I'll hold you close, sometimes it hurts to love. So this is do or die, do or die. You hide, I hide the hurt we've got inside. We could learn to let things go, show mercy and discover gold. Oh, oh, you'll find I'll find a whole new peace of mind if we create a new design and choose not to divide. Oh, oh, there's one way for us to get through this, believing in second chances, 'cause baby, they are not useless. So this is do or die, do or die. I know we are worth the.
the only one. You're the only one. You're the only one. You tell me to hurry and be by your side, but I'm all confused. I wanna get off this ride. It's not right. No. You tell me you love me, that you'll never leave. I'm sorry, but I find it hard to believe you, girl. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah. I'm sick of being lonely. I'm sick of this ride. I wish I could let you go or let you know that you're the only one. You're the only one. 'Cause you're the only one. You're the only
There's a place at the end of the road.
2018 GSL Season 3 Rockshear. The genius that was born again in the dawn has grown to be the king. But the battle is only about to begin. Take your opponents down, or you will fall down under their feet. There will be only glory for the winner, and pain for the loser. Rise up, higher, ever higher. Or fall forever. (2018) GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of the GSL Code S. We are here in Group C. Maltese Dosis on our way at WCS Valencia. Myself, Rapid, and No Regret will be filling in for Group C and, of course, Group D as well. So I hope you're excited to be here with us for another group of the GSL Code S.
I'm excited. This is going to be an exciting group for sure.
So here's a look at the matchups from Group B and the match results. Of course, if I were a used car salesman, I could slap the top of the GSL and say this baby can hold so many upsets. Maru, of course, getting out as the favorite, but Deer getting upset in the last match by Lena.
Yeah, very like surprising result in general. Like you do not expect Leonuk to make it out of this group. This is one of the hardest groups for sure.
I mean, this is also a very hard group. You would come in here as maybe your average viewer and say that Stats and Innovation are clear favorites, but at least from what you've been telling me, no regret, that may not be the case.
I personally don't think that's 100% like how it's going to play out. I hope for the best for Cure and Hurricane. Like, I think Hurricane can definitely be one of those people to also create an upset and have the third group be an upset as well. And Kira, obviously, I think is insanely underrated in general.
Well, I'm glad that we have at least that feedback, because going into this, it might seem one-sided. Let's head into an interview with our players. So this is the third place in WCS Korea rankings. This is Stats.
오랜만에 경기라 되게 설레는 마음으로 왔는데 경기 결과도
He says, you know, I'm really excited to have my offline matches here today. He says, I hope that if things go as expected, I can do my best here today.
이번 예선에서 좋은 성적을 거두고 2시즌 만에 코드S에 복귀했습니다. 멜리오라 e스포츠 남기웅 선수입니다.
So after being out for a season, he's back again. This is Meliora Esports Hurricane. So hello, Hurricane.
제 생각에는 지금 저희 조가 많이
He says, well, I personally think that all the groups are very tough, but because I prepared very hard, I'll do my best to get to the round of 16.
지난 시즌 오랜만에 코드S에 복귀했지만 아쉽게 탈락했죠.
Last season he came back to GSL Code S, but he was eliminated in round of 32. This is Generic Green Wings Cure. He says hello. I'm Generic Green Wings Cure.
치르게 됐는데 블리즈컨을 목표로 마지막까지 끝까지 열심히 하는 모습.
Yeah, I made it to GSL round of 32 this season, but still I have BlizzCon as my goal, so I'll try my best to make it there.
출전 선수 중 GSL 최다 우승 기록을 갖고 있죠. 시즌 3에서
This guy has the most wins in the GSL. This is O Gaming's Innovation.
이신영입니다. 32강인데
Hello, I'm Innovation.
괜히 걱정이
This is the round of 32.
뭐 연습
Somehow I feel really nervous and worried about today's games,
열심히 하겠습니다.
but hopefully my results turn out as I expect. So that's it for our player interviews. Hope you guys enjoyed those riveting, scintillating thoughts, specifically from Innovation there at the end. I can't wait to see how our players do here today. I think that, like we said earlier, maybe Stats and Innovation have a lot of results, but there have also been a lot of upsets this season.
I agree. I'm also surprised that Innovation said he's a little bit nervous for this group. Like, I feel like Innovation in general just like, no, this group's pretty easy or whatever. So that kind of just shows you how scary some of these players can be, especially Kier. Hurricane, totally upsettable. Stats, obviously, is the second solid in the group.
You know, I don't know whether or not that is just, you know, the player being humble and saying, well, you know, anything could happen. But if Innovation says he's nervous, that is very, very scary. But here's one man that very rarely gets nervous. This is Stats. Of course, you can see second place in the first season of GSL, and then round of 16, and then 9th currently. Coming into Season 3. So you gotta say this guy looks very, very good. Of course, one of the all-time great Protosses in Korea, but we already saw Classic, one of the best Protosses in Korea, go out in an upset match to Rainer, so anything can happen.
Yeah, especially in PvP, and yeah, I'd like to see what happens. I think Hurricane can definitely come up with an upset, but it's gonna be really hard for him in this match. Especially, I think Stats PvP in general is just really strong, so he definitely needs to break that ability, or break the wall of Stats.
Yeah, this is Namgyung, our Hurricane's 6th GSL Code S. He's coming off of a break after not qualifying last season. So hopefully he is going to come back and he can take his Red Supreme Messenger bag all the way to the finals.
So I was talking about this. Atlas is in the map set
What?
right here. Yep.
What is that doing in there, no regret?
That's pretty interesting. I predicted that this would probably be the first series we'd see Atlas just because there's no Zergs.
Another game of Veto Chicken gone horribly wrong.
I think there might have been some Veto Chicken.
Well, our first two maps should be very familiar to our viewers, Catalyst and Acid Plant. Of course, they've both been around for a long time. We're about to head into game number 1 of our first set. It is Stats versus Hurricane. And away we go on to Catalyst. This is going to be a PvP starting in the upper left-hand corner with
Stats.
Came in right at the bell there. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner in the red, this is...
our boy.
Chrono boosting his Nexus.
Meliora Esports, Hurricane.
My man, Namgyung, of course, very kind of near and dear to my heart. Also yours, Jake, because he is part of the Unity house out there.
I've been living with him for, say, 9 months or so, I would say, 7 months. And I've never seen him as determined to win this group as I've seen him play anything. Like, even the GSL qualifier, I haven't seen him practice nearly as much as he has now. And he's been working really hard with all the players at our house, so I'm really excited to see what he can do. Specifically, he played a lot of games with Neeb, so that would probably... Neeb's actually pretty good to practice with if you're practicing for stats, in my opinion. So
you also mentioned kind of the same thing, same storyline with Rainer coming in here.
Rainer also prepared really hard.
Very hard practice.
Really well.
Thanks for coming down. It's always good to have new faces in the audience. But yeah, very hard practice and preparation, and actually getting a lot of help from the other players in the Unity
also
house.
Neeb.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to increase Neeb's salary.
Funny how that works. Yeah, Neeb has been the practice partner to go to when it comes to practicing against some of the strongest Protoss players in Korea.
Okay, never mind. This probe's just to take the Nexus, or what? So it doesn't get blocked? Interesting pro placement here. I'm not sure. I'm not a PvP expert, though.
Exactly. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on with that placement, but just to go ahead and highlight the way that these games are opening, I'm waiting to see if there are Nexi going down. I thought that's what that probe was for.
I think you should get some help, my good sir.
I think we should.
But passion overwhelming, I guess, you know?
There you go. At least we have that, but here we go. Hurricane with that pylon coming down. I'm curious to see what he wants to do with that, and whether or not Stats will be able to scout any shenanigans afoot. Oh, he's going down there.
I mean, even if you scout that, it's not that insane.
Right, it doesn't really give you a whole lot of information.
It's just like, why is your pylon there? Like, honestly, it doesn't tell you too much. Like, in my opinion, it would push you to think that he's going to take a Nexus, but he's actually building a Twilight there?
Yeah, it does look like there are Twilight Councils, basically the same timing on both sides.
Yeah, so this is actually a good example. The Twilights are at the same time, so Hurricane hiding his Twilight Council could just be a mind game here. It's nothing crazy. That's the biggest thing. This is just a normal building at a normal time, but it just happens to be in an odd position.
But you can see Stats a little bit...
Yeah, see Stats is looking for something, because he's confused. He's like, where's your gas
maybe
going?
that is the mind game kind of paying off, right? Hurricane has also sent those 2 Adepts. It is double Adept opening to go ahead and take out that scouting probe. So a little bit of a lack of information.
Now we're getting into cheeky territory. Okay, we've got a Dark Shrine on the way. Really kind of interesting position for a Dark Shrine. Like, usually you want to build this on the map somewhere. It can be scouted, but it also allows you to warp in the DTs on the other side. If you build your Dark Shrine at home, then your warp-in distance is really far. Okay, here comes our Proxy Pylon. This makes sense to me. Though this is just as scoutable as something like a Dark Shrine on the map, too. So, you know what I mean? You're building an extra pylon on the map. Seems a little bit much, but it's okay.
Now, shading into the main, just trying to get a couple of cheeky kills, but unfortunately, trying to grab gas drones is hard, but he does get one.
Honestly, the biggest thing here is the scouting with that Adept. Like, you know there's no Robo here, so you should feel pretty comfortable with the DT here. Blink is actually a really sick scout for Hurricane. Oh, he almost saw it. He turned around the last second.
This is a little bit comical. How close can you get without seeing the hidden tag?
Okay, I think that Robo is kind of suspicious, and that's why Stats is building his Robo. Like, tech-wise, there's nothing here. Like, this Robo is delayed. It should be finished already if this is your first tech structure. So you already see Stats kind of preparing for the Dark Shrine.
Well, he does have a sentry at the front door for a force field, so that is going to be very, very important. And our observer showing us the Stats still doesn't have vision.
He knows it's coming, though. Even though he hasn't seen it, he knows it's coming.
Well, here are the first 2 DTs being warped in at that proxy location. They are en route to the main. Let's see if he can force field in time. He's probably watching this area, and yeah, there's an instantaneous force field. No DTs allowed.
The one thing is that these DTs go for the Nexus right now. The only thing they want is the Nexus. Maybe he can get it before the Observer gets out, but I think it's pretty close. This DT already hasn't been attacking long enough.
Yeah, he wasn't going through. He actually missed. This is a force field, so
he's going to get both sentries possibly here.
Oh my goodness.
This is way more damage than it should ever do, by the way.
He tried to blink on top of the sentry to shield it from the DTs.
He's going
to get both sentries. That means no more force fields at the ramp unless he warps in another sentry, which isn't what you want right now.
You're building a forge here, too. This is pretty good for Hurricane, honestly. Like, realistically, that wasn't going to do much. Oh, he actually sneaks a DT in. Stats doesn't know about it.
I thought
he's getting workers.
Oh my god, this is actually a tragic, because the Observer actually was following the lower DT, and now he's going to have to come back up here. 5 probes going down, I didn't expect him to get any kills.
Well, he killed the DT in the low ground, and then as he was chasing the DT in the main, Hurricane snuck a second DT in, and Stats just had no idea. He saw 0 amount there. Like, that did so much damage compared to what it should have. So Stats picked up on it immediately.
Right.
So
he knew almost exactly what was coming. He prepared adequately, but that second force field accidentally shoving the DT at the front of it to the back of it and letting it in really kind of threw his game off. But now we get a chance to see what it looks like when Stats comes around and is actually going to get his adepts in the main.
There's no shield battery here either, so he could get a couple probes. At least 3, I would say. Here comes the third probe. Yeah, here gets the third. That's quite nice. I mean, that's kind of like a consolation prize, to be honest. Like, if you look at the supplies and everything, Hurricane is definitely in an advantage position right now.
Small advantage, though it may be, but I think the real thing to point out is that neither player is drastically thrown off their game, right? They both have their naturals up. They have similar worker counts.
I agree. I think the one thing is Stats could be a little bit susceptible to some sort of 2-base timing.
Okay.
Like when we're looking at tech, we see Charge on the way already, which is really fast, by the way. He already has Blink. There's a Templar Archive on the way. So like tech-wise, Hurricane seems to be really pulling ahead, especially when it comes to upgrades.
Yeah, 4 gates to 2 also coming out here along with that Templar Archives, like you mentioned.
This looks a lot like a timing to me. And I would expect it to be a +1 timing, especially now that he's chronoing it.
So you're saying the goal of what Hurricane's trying to accomplish here is to go for the sneaky opening and get a small advantage.
Yeah, and it's either a +1 timing now or he's going to take the third. It can be either right now. But at this moment, right now, adding on 4 gateways on 2 bases is a little bit suspicious to me.
I agree.
I think it depends on what he scouts here.
Okay, well, he didn't get in and see a whole lot there. I guess you could check saturation or if there are any tech buildings built at the natural, but not a whole lot of intel into the main of Stats, who also has his own Templar Archives on the way.
But he also sees there's no third base, so my guess is that it won't be something super all-in. It'll probably just be, it's taking his own third. That makes sense to me. Like I said, if you scouted a third there, you might go for that 2-base timing or something like that. Again, I'm no PvP expert, but that would make sense to me. Like, third base should be punishable. So here comes the scout. He's going to scout pretty much everything here.
Yeah, tries it from one direction, he gets blocked. This time he does get the full scout off. So just maybe a fraction slower for Stats on a couple of things like Templar Archives or the third base coming up. But all in all, pretty even across the board.
Especially because Stats is getting his +2 now. So like that's a clear edge in my opinion, having your +2. He could do like your +2 timing as well. Okay, here comes Hurricane's push though.
Yeah, they were even on upgrades right now, but as soon as that +2 kicks in, that's going to be a big advantage for Stats. This is actually pretty big.
There's 2 Immortals on the other side of the map. So this is just 2 Immortals missing from the engagement if he doesn't recall this.
I mean, this is a big warp in right now. Archon's morphing in.
I kind of think he needs to recall this, right? The Archon can block the force field here.
I mean, how much damage can he get done on the other side of the map, right? There's going to be warp-ins back at home, but
what did he recall? I hope he didn't recall anything big.
Okay, he recalled a couple of Stalkers and an Archon.
Okay, he might be able to just go for the Nexus right now. That would be a huge play.
Yeah, if you can cancel this Nexus, it just sets your opponent so far behind. He's targeting it, and yeah, 100% with these
The one thing we have to think about is he doesn't have a recall now, though, so if he gets caught out of position or something like that, his army is fully committed here. But I think his army's actually bigger.
Yeah, it actually is. Like, it's not the same composition, so there might be ways to make it work. He does have a Guardian Shield there, but he's actually going to blink in, and Stats will snipe that Warp Prism.
But all these Stalkers are in Immortal range now.
Yeah, but there are a couple of more Immortals coming in, and with a Blink Stalker, or with a Blink, I guess, esque from that Warp Prism, it's actually better control there by Stats, and I think he is just going to crush Hurricane's army.
Well, the biggest thing is that Hurricane couldn't warp in a Zealot reinforcement because it was sniped down.
Right.
If he had been able to warp in a Zealot reinforcement there, I think Hurricane takes that fight. So really nice pickoff by the Warp. That Warp Prism pickoff was clearly essential to that defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you take down the Warp Prism, all you have to do is deal with the forces right there. And there was no way to save them with no recall because he had used that earlier to defend against that double Immortal drop. So a little bit of a rough spot there for Hurricane, but he does get the cancel on the Nexus.
To be fair, I think recalling would have killed his army anyways. The biggest thing is, like, you kill the third, you can back up and then recall, right? But if you ever actually engage with recall, your army is kind of just, like, you can't recall it or you'll lose it.
Yeah, you're sitting there taking free damage.
The one
guy
thing,
counterattacks.
the biggest thing here is the third died. So, like, even though it was a pretty good trade for Stats, economically speaking, and, like, the fact that there's third base is up, it's way better for Hurricane.
Well, now that we get a chance to see what Stats' revenge, right? This is a counterattack with +2, so a weapons advantage for Stats and a very, very strong army with Warp Prism support.
I think the biggest issue here is this is too many Zealots. These Zealots are just going to run into Archons and die, I think.
Yeah, that is so many Archons.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we're just gearing up for what is going to be one of, if not the final battle. Here comes Stats coming in. He is going to try to take down this third, but He's going to go for the fight.
Oh,
Look at that Archon splash damage.
A lot of these ults aren't being splashed right now. This is actually really, really good fight for Hurricane, considering what the army composition was here.
More Immortals, though, for Stats behind this, and another Warp in here.
Yeah, that Warp in was so good. This is actually really good for Hurricane so far.
Yeah, the Hurricane is actually going to do pretty well here. The Archons are actually starting to have to be micro because they're dropping very, very low in health, and I think Hurricane is actually going to hold on.
Really well controlled, by the way. Look at these Archons. They all have no shields at all. All of them. This Stalker could pick off 3 Archons if it wasn't It gets 1.
Oh my god, he gets 2! And
Look
he blinks away. Godstalker there from Stats, kind of evening the floor after all is said and done, but that was a lot of harassment in the end. Hurricane does still have about 10 less workers.
Yeah, this was really, really good trade for Stats. Though he did hold, which was good, but this drop's going to be really annoying too. I can't believe that he lost 2 Archons to 1 Stalker after that. That is one... That Stalker deserves a
He was trying
promotion.
to be a little bit fancy with the micro. It didn't work out, but in the end, Hurricane...
To be fair, these 2 Archons have no HP
Yeah, that is true. They've been regenning just a little bit. Let's see what Hurricane can do on top of the ramp. Probably not a whole lot of Stats works in at home. Yeah. Oh, no. This is going to be tragic.
Yeah. I think at this point, he's just getting punched over and over and over again while he's on the ground.
Yeah, the Warp Prism control is just really, really strong here from Stats.
If he's able to take out some of this economy at the third base, maybe he can even it out, but the biggest thing here is the economic disadvantage is so huge.
Yeah, Stats, that Warp Prism is just going to be able to be microed to Kingdom coming back, and on the other side, you can see Stats defending immaculately back at home. What does Hurricane have to do to come back here? He's got +2 to +2 right now, so is he going to go for 4?
I don't think he, to be honest, it would be really hard for him to come back in this position. Like, he can't do anything fancy with Dark Templar because he did it earlier, and now he's really well defended against
There's
it.
no mystery there. The observers are already out.
Like, Defender's advantage maybe can keep him in this game. So, like, if he can do the same thing that happened earlier where he snipes the Warp Prism and then gets the army or something like that, then maybe that'll even up the playing field here.
He's actually moving a little bit out there. He's trying to find the Warp Prism right now. Will he target it down in time? And he will get it. Beautiful.
This is exactly what needed to happen.
Exactly what you said, no regret. And he's actually going to catch Stats' army kind of funneling in a little bit here. This isn't the smallest army for Hurricane. He is going to warp in back at home, but I do think there's more here for Stats.
The biggest thing is there's no Warp Prism here for Hurricane either. Okay, here comes the Warp in.
Yep, that is the Warp in. It's going to be Zealots on an Immortal, exactly what you want.
I think.
Is this the perfect fight for Hurricane?
It is, but he needs to back up right now. These 2 Archons have way too low HP here.
Yeah, he does need to save the Archons, but with a blink forward.
Oh my god, these Stalkers are going to get more Archons. Gets 1 maybe?
Stats Hero Stalkers, kind of the story
close.
of today.
Okay, here gets 1.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get this last one as well. Nope, just
my god,
barely does not grab it. He's going to be morphing another one. And there it goes. Boom goes the Dynamite, and I think this might be the final straw. GG Stats takes game number 1 against Hurricane.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is no Warp Prism at that fight. Imagine if he's able to micro and warp in. Like, the potential for that fight was so much bigger for Hurricane, especially after Stats was funneling into his army, that he just needed a Warp Prism to actually sustain his units, warp in more, and I think he could have won, potentially. I don't think it would have been a really, like, favorable position, but it's definitely doable.
Well, that is game number 1. All of you guys out there should be cheering for a game 3 because GSL Atlas is going to be our 3rd map, and I am really looking forward to maybe seeing that a couple of times this season. If we don't make it there, maybe it'll come up later on, but you know, for Stats, he did just look like he was totally on top of everything. A little bit of a mess up with that force field early on, but he didn't take critical damage from that and was able to get damage done on the other side.
Yeah. I really was impressed by both players. Like, Stats picked up on that Dark Templar without scouting it, guys. Like,
it's just beautiful. Sometimes it's what impresses me the most is not what players do, but it's what they do when they don't know what's going on.
He knew 100% seeing a robo that was delayed that it was Dark Templar. That was 100% reaction to that.
So smart.
Like, it wasn't a reaction to Proxy Stargate to get a sentry and a robo for an observer. He knew it was easy.
I can react to us getting into this game, no regret. We'll be in a second to match 2 of Stats versus Hurricane. Okay, here we go. Game number 2 on Acid Plants. This is
Splice Stats.
Of course, in the blue, spawning in the upper left. His opponent in bottom right in the red. He is having another long intro.
Our boy, Hurricane.
Meliora Esports. Hurricane.
You gotta do it deeper. Hurricane.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Be
That's
the
why I'm
upcoming
not the
star
GSL.
of the Batman movie.
The GSL sound guy.
We've got our own GSL Batman.
Yeah.
coming in. Okay, so game number 2, maybe you play a little bit more carefully as stats to try to get some more of that scouting information. Of course, big fan. Thanks for coming out. Always good to see you guys down in the audience. Game number 2, what does Hurricane have to think right now? Do you think he was really outclassed that much in game 1?
I really don't. I think Hurricane should feel really comfortable. Like, there are simple mistakes Hurricane could have fixed that game to win. It was not like Stats just like was a brick and just completely demolished him. Like, both players had opportunities to win that game, and obviously Stats ended up winning it. To be fair, he was very far ahead after that third base engagement. So, like, realistically, it all boils down to that Warp Prism, right? At Stats' third base. If he doesn't lose that, then that game can continue. And,
right.
You know, Hurricane could be in a favorable position.
Yeah, maybe the Warp Prism is just a few, I don't know, squares backwards and doesn't get sniped. You can continually warp in and micro, changes everything. So we'll see what's up right now as Hurricane has a cheeky little probe headed all the way around the bottom side of the map. Is this for a proxy pylon or just to get a cheeky scout in?
Definitely a proxy pylon.
Yep, there we go.
I think this is Stargate. Yeah, it's double adept here, so you're obviously having a bit extra gas. So that would make sense that it's a Stargate. It could be something else, but that would make the most sense. To be fair, also, he did like Dark Templar, but he did not proxy it like this. And when you look at the flight path of a Stargate there, it makes the most sense that you would proxy a Stargate there, right?
Right. I mean, this is also something that Stats has to know, and maybe he can't think of every infinite possibility. But it'll be interesting to see where he does scout and for what that might be, because we're about to see that Stargate get thrown down. There it is. And Hurricane will be going for a
double Stalker
proxy again. But, I mean, Stalkers are pretty good against
The
Stargate
biggest
units.
question here is Stats going to build a blind shield battery if he doesn't scout it? Like, he's going to send his Stalkers across the map. We'll see. Sometimes people just do it when you double adept, too. Like, double adept isn't a huge tell, but usually it makes sense if it's a Stargate.
Oh, going to catch the Adepts, so that's already a little bit of a win there for Stats. Push them back.
I mean, he could shade in here. There's no probe at the wall.
Oh, my God. I guess you always expect that probe to be there, so you never try to punish, but,
okay, but
he's going to try to go for it right now.
He should have time. He's actually dragging these towards the Stargate. That's a bit crazy. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, I would not do that. I mean, he's pretty much...
Yeah, okay, if he does scout that, then obviously that was a bad move by Hurricane,
The one
but he won't
thing
scout it.
is this could be the double fake. Like, I wouldn't drag you to my Stargates.
Oh,
you know?
big brain gaming right there. Always like to see the mind games in effect. But the other side of this is that Hurricane has to not die at home to mass Stalker
He's building a shield battery, by the way, so he does have the counter to this, in my opinion.
Stats
also,
you're talking about, yeah.
Also, he's getting a Warp Prism, so there could be a timing here where Hurricane is actually a little bit, you know, in trouble because he's investing in a Stargate on the other side of the map.
Well, here we go. Stalker's popping out at just the last second. Still a disadvantage, but here comes the Oracle, and there is the saddest Oracle in the world.
He might be able to get some probes on the gas here.
Ooh.
Yeah. Perfect counter, really. Perfect
not
counter.
Not the he's looking for. And that is, like you said, a perfect counter by Stats, who completely read what was coming his way.
Again, this is another blind reaction to what was happening, right? Like, he didn't scout anything before.
This is
like
Paul Muad'Dib blindness, where you don't have any eyes, but you got the sensory awareness to still see what's coming your way.
I honestly kind of wish Hurricane, I guess Hurricane doesn't know that there's a shield battery there, but if he just banks two Oracles, he can do a lot with it.
Oh, Stats putting on a lot of pressure on the other side. That force field to just zone out a couple of Stalkers.
With 2 Oracles now, but it's a little late. There's too many Stalkers here, I think.
Yeah, he might get a couple of probes. 3? No, just 2.
Just 2, yeah.
Good job by Stats perfectly splitting his army up. This is one of the most impressive things for me about pro players. They know exactly what they need and where they need it. And to see Stats both put on pressure and defend back at home, really solid.
This is going to be really scary for Hurricane, I think. He's getting his third base. He's investing in tech that isn't really helping him here, like Oracles and stuff like that. It's really expensive units.
He got the Oracles out, so he's going to bring those back to try to hold this and maybe snipe that sentry in the back, but they are not going to be able to hold up in Stalker versus Stalker Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of bad if you're using Oracles against Stalkers, to be honest. Like,
it does.
This amount of Stalkers could
not as bad as using Oracles against the shield battery, but yeah, the same feeling. It's not going to be good here for Hurricane. Sees 10 supply down. The army supply just massive here for Stats, and he's going to force a cancel on the Nexus.
And he can't even go back up because he's going to get force fielded.
Yep. So there's a no-go zone, and there are the force fields, and I think this is
you
just
get one more force field?
Too strong a position to be in.
This is a bad spot to be in.
The higher Stalker numbers warping out of the high ground. Triple Oracles coming in, but like you said, no regret. Oracles versus Stalkers, not the matchup you want to fight. And as the Stalker numbers dwindle here for Hurricane.
He's doing a really good job of keeping these Oracles alive, but yeah, I think at this point it's too much damage.
I think Stats might just have done it. He is going to try to push up the ramp. There's no sentries on the high ground to try to get any force fields, and even with a shield battery up there, this is just too many Stalkers for Stats. And after a close first game, I think Stats is about to punch his ticket to the winner's match. Microing against every last Stalker here is Hurricane, and he's really trying his heart out here, Jake.
I mean, he should be, honestly. He's practiced so much for this, so. This is actually like a perfect game from Stats, though.
No, GG,
really,
completely
really
the G'est of G's in many ways. Stats takes a 2-0 over Hurricane and advances on to our winner's match.
Yeah, I mean, this would be one of the hardest matches for Hurricane, I think. Stats, one of the best PvP players, I think. And he played amazingly. Like, even when he didn't scout what was going on, he knew what was going on, you know?
That's just so beautiful to see what you don't see and be able to make inferences from that. That's why Stats is one of the best players in the world, and maybe why Hurricane might have to try something a little bit different next time than going for these proxies, which Stats, as one of the best defensive Protosses in the world, if not the best, is just very well prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, he hit a perfect read. I think the only thing that we could have seen better from Hurricane is if he had bunched 2 Oracles and gone in with 2 instead of 1.
Right.
Because really, Stats had no 100%.
Coming up next is Cure versus Innovation. We're going to head out to a quick commercial break, and we'll see you then.
What's your problem? Dizzy from falling, delirious. I choke, don't let it show. They call it weakness. Sadness is secret, cause boys don't cry. And I can't sleep, no dreaming. My heart ain't celebrate. 1,000 words of screaming. I can't communicate. Gotta beat this feeling. My body won't obey. Breathe or you're going to fade. Don't panic. I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic. Nothing will pull me down. Don't panic. I'm gonna be the one. Don't panic. Nothing will pull no gun. Don't panic. I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic. Nothing will pull me down. I can't keep hold of, control of my spirit now. Chest tight, lights too bright. Smile for the picture. Crack in the mirror, an eye for an eye. Too loud, thundering sound. Keep it all silent. Nobody likes it to feel your pain. And I can't sleep, no dreaming. My heart ain't celebrate. 1,000 words of screaming. I can't communicate. Gotta beat this feeling. My body won't obey. Breathe or you're going to fade. Don't panic. I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic. Nothing will pull me down. Don't panic. I'm gonna be the one. Don't panic. Nothing will pull no gun. Don't panic. I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic. Nothing will pull me down. I can't keep hold of, control of my spirit now. Don't panic. Don't panic. Emotion keeps troubling me. Cold body, heart anxiety. Deep water, shore I swim, have no hesitation. Don't panic, I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic, nothing will pull me down. Don't panic, I'm gonna be the one. Don't panic, nothing will pull no gun. Don't panic, I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic, nothing will pull me down. I can't keep hold of, control of my spirit now. Don't panic, I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic, nothing will pull me down. Don't panic, I'm gonna be the one. Don't panic, nothing will pull no gun. Don't panic, I'm gonna stand my ground. Don't panic, nothing will pull me down. I can't keep hold of, control of my spirit now. Don't panic.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're one match through Group C, heading in. The Cure versus Innovation, a TVT for the ages, one that you might think is a little bit one-sided, but no regret. Tell me why Cure has a chance.
It certainly may seem one-sided, thinking that Cure maybe not the best, but I think he's one of the better Terrans for sure in Korea.
Yeah, you were telling me he's like 7K MMR, just like insane
like
ladder
6'8".
monster.
He's really good. He's one of the most underrated Terrans in my opinion.
Wasn't here with us for Season 1 of GSL this season, or this year, but he's been back. Eliminated in the round of 32 last season, but now he is coming into his 7th GSL Code S. Has to face off against a monster of Terran on the other side. But, I mean, he's obviously having a lot of success right now, and it's pretty hard to scout.
Yeah. Another thing here is he is a Jin Air Terran. Jin Air Terrans definitely have an edge here. We got Maru, you know. You can watch Maru do some crazy things with that. I think if, as long as Kier's, you know, using Maru to his full advantage, he can do really well.
Now, Innovation earlier this year had a little bit of a rough spot. He was eliminated in the round of 16 twice and is coming into what is his 14th GSL Code S. However, it should be noted that this is still Innovation. He's coming off of his Home Story Cup 17 win. He has more offline victories in Korea than MVP. So this guy is still a god. We'll see if the challenger Cure can take him on as we get into our second best of 3. This one will unfortunately not feature GSL Atlas. That was the first veto by Cure. But we are starting things off on 16-bit.
Yeah, 16-bit can be an interesting TVT map for sure. So we'll have to see what the strategies are.
Then we're moving on to Lost and Found, and then Dreamcatcher's our final map. We've seen these maps around in pretty much every tournament for a while, so nothing super, super crazy. But I'm interested to see what will happen as we get into our first game of the series on 16-bit.
Match 1, fight.
And here we go, in the upper right-hand corner in the blue. This is
Jin Air Green Wings, Cure.
I like the red circle.
Dude, that red circle, whoever thought about that's on the beach in the Bahamas with a good idea paycheck. This is in the red.
O Gaming TV, Innovation.
This should have just said OG Innovation. My man. So yeah, Lee Shin-hyung, no question about this guy's skill. Sometimes he does look a little bit shaky, but by and large, you can just never count him out. One of the most solid macro Terrans out there, and it's good to see him back for, I think, his 14th GSL. This guy's just been around for a while.
Yeah, he has. Very interested to see how he's going to do here. Nice thing to see is we don't see any proxies, which
that
is
is
quite
true.
good.
We proxied that guy in the audience. Thanks for coming down, man. It's a good old proxy camera shot. His opponent across the map is Cure. Now, Cure is, I think, Kim Do-uk.
Yeah.
And Classic's name is Kim Do-woo. So he's one letter different. Yeah. We already saw Classic get upset. So maybe Cure will be an upset or two, as long as you ignore stats like that.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is not a big deal in Legacy, though.
And so I think what we should see is that the stats look a little bit better more recently in Legacy of the Void.
Cure, I think, has been a really big kind of up-and-comer in like Legacy. Like, not up-and-comer as in like, oh, well, who's this guy? It's more like he's been getting really, really good, in my opinion. We just haven't seen his results yet, and I would be surprised to not see anything here. Like, I think he is a very good shot at being an upset here. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider an upset if he does beat Innovation.
Yeah, I believe Cure was on a few winning Pro League teams, but never has an individual championship of his own in offline premier events. So certainly does have a lot more to prove. But Innovation, I gotta say, and this is not to shed any doubt on Innovation's skill, but after being eliminated in the round of 16, 2 GSLs in a row, I mean, this guy's a multiple time GSL winner. And every time that Innovation wins a championship, it's in Season 3 of the GSL. So every time we hit Season 3, there's a chance Innovation's going to win it, and he's done it 3 times already. So we're back here in Season 3. Maybe that's the buff Innovation needs.
Yeah, we'll have to see. One thing we have to look at too, by the way, I think a big thing here is Cure's information on Cure is kind of limited compared to Innovation. So when preparing for GSL and you know you're playing Innovation, Cure should have a huge edge in preparing for this series.
Yeah, you were telling me
Innovation was streaming like literally yesterday, so
he's been streaming a lot, and I mean, I guess you can say, well, he's not going to show his strategies on air, right? But there's some things that you can just learn from watching a guy play.
Yeah, mechanics, decision making, like reactions to things you have to react the way you react, regardless of whether you want to hide a strategy. Like you can definitely learn a lot from people, even if they're hiding strategies. You can't hide mechanics. I really don't think you can. Otherwise, you're just playing badly, and there's no real point in streaming at that point if you're just kind of fake streaming. Unless you go like Battle Cruisers or something.
Well, I mean, obviously that would just be way out there. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who commentates fighting games, and he was saying that one of the things that fighting game players will look for is how do players react to specific setups. You know, do they juke right or left? And you can learn a lot about
That's a great example.
Players' reactions to either certain builds in StarCraft 2, but actually does completely miss that medevac heading out.
Yeah, can he? I'm trying to say, I don't think he can tell 100%. You should know that there's a lack of units here, though. He might be able to tell that this is a medevac, but I don't know if he knows what's inside it.
I hope he doesn't just think that he missed something somewhere out there. And he is going for a Banshee to have that across the map, but that just means there's not a lot that will be back and home for Cure to defend against this double drop.
Yeah, but the Banshee on the other side can be really scary, too, though.
It's
He
true.
does have a tank coming, too.
Okay, maybe he will be able to stand. I mean, taking out a mule already, that's going to be a big economic hit. Every SCV that's not pulled will die down here. And he's just going to have to wait for that tank to come out to defend. He's got a Cyclone of his own, but that might just get owned. Here comes the Cyclone.
Really good defense, too, by Innovation.
Innovation, yeah, just right in position. That's going to push Innovation and Cure out, respectively.
Yeah, that was actually really good for Innovation. Still getting some more economic damage here.
The good old KD8 disruption charge.
There are a lot of tanks, or at least 2 tanks coming. He has 1, I think, already. So this is the second tank.
Yeah, takes down on both sides, and ooh, Cure just barely able to save that Banshee, and he's actually going to get some
like
SCV
3 or 4
kills.
SCVs, I think this evens it out. I almost think you should sack it if you can get maybe a couple more would have been better, though. I think sacking it's the best call here, because he lost already a lot of workers from Innovation's counterattack.
Right, and that's the big characteristic is that Innovation went across the map, but he didn't lose anything, whereas Cure did lose that Banshee, which he won't have to defend against anything else that Innovation sends.
Are those? This medevac have 2 tanks in it? This could be really scary for Cure.
It's either 2 tanks or 2 Cyclones, but I think it's 2 tanks. Yeah, it is 2 tanks.
I'm actually really nervous for Cure because it looks like he's posturing for the natural, and that you're not getting a drop off in that natural.
Oh, and 2 Vikings coming out.
Yeah, this is really scary. If he has to back out immediately, I think. Okay.
Yeah, so he sees what's waiting there for him, and he will back out. But keep in mind, there are still those 2 Vikings that just popped out and might hunt down these dropships.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get them, but okay, this is really good again.
Man,
any amount of damage is really good.
Just keep getting in here. This is sick trades, and actually does get the bounce off on one of those Cyclones to take it out.
What are those Marines doing up there?
Taking one for the team there. Those 50 minerals of scouting information strapped inside a Marine suit.
Yeah, Innovation, I was taking an army advantage here. The thing is, Cure is being really active on the map with his medevacs. As long as he doesn't lose them, he has the ability to keep Innovation at home for a very long time. Because Innovation has to be worried of a threat, a double tank drop threat. Oh, okay, this could be really bad. Okay. Ooh, I don't even think you should posture anymore.
No, you got to go back. This is where you drop the mule to repair that medevac.
I mean, it's better than losing them.
Yeah, probably not, but this is very scary. This is the, please don't attack me right here. And in the meantime, Innovation is still having success with this random Cyclone drop coming in at intermittent intervals back in the back natural for Cure.
Okay, this is gonna, he might lose a medevac here. So close.
I mean, how did he not lose any?
It's like one
Those
shot.
have to be in the red,
One of
way
them's
down
in one
deep.
shot, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to stay out on the map. This is a very risky choice, especially if you decide to put anything inside those medevacs, because you can just risk losing it.
It's only risky if you don't have like 100% confidence in your ability to boost out of there. Okay, that's nice.
Okay, all right.
You might be able to get that.
The hashtag value. Maybe Innovation is just going to say, hey, I killed your unit, I can pull mine back and repair.
He could get into a position here that would be really annoying for Innovation, especially if he can't get down the ramp with his army already, like right off the bat. Loses one medevac, that's kind of annoying. Yeah, see, there's only one tank down here, so in theory, this could be really annoying.
Keep an eye on upgrades. Stim is just about to finish here for Kira, and he does have +1 weapons on the way, as well as a bunch of Marines being produced at a time, 5 on the way. But the big advantage
really nice
is going to be this tank spot.
Okay, that's really nice. 3 workers down already. This is just really annoying positioning. I think he can actually hit the CC if his medevac gets in range.
Air advantage certainly for Innovation, so he will be able to win tank wars, and I think that's the big deal that will help him defend here at the natural, and will force Kira into a different position.
Yeah, Kira respecting the air advantage here and just backing up. I think that's the smartest thing he can do. Really.
Oh, try number 2, this time with another couple of tanks put into those incoming medevacs, but Kira has yet to find any success with her ass. I mean, he killed like 3 SCVs with the Banshee earlier, but
yeah,
drops, I guess.
Not a big deal.
Right.
The one thing is that he has the ability to threaten another drop here with the medevacs that we saw earlier.
Ugh.
And these drops can really change the tide of the game.
Absolutely.
Look, this is actually a huge drop.
If this were
can go
Gumiho,
really...
and I were an observer, I would... Here we go.
Wait.
This is exactly it. He's going to look for it, but perfect positioning on those Vikings to defend.
This is a really good spot, though. There's nothing here.
Not quite so perfect position.
This is so good
He
for
drops
Kira.
into tank fire, but it's only 1 tank, and this is high ground advantage for Kira.
Yeah, and now going up this ramp into 5 tanks is not a thing you ever want to do.
10, 11.
This is really good. Only 2 tanks now.
Yeah, Interference Matrix, but those are still high ground tanks. They're taking down every Marine here. Innovation's taking critical losses, and the I Matrix expires. There's nothing else but Vikings on the ground.
Yeah.
A beautiful move, immaculate by Cure. He'll kill everything for Innovation in his base.
Yeah, beautiful play by Kier. This is one thing I was worried about, like threatening that posture and then being able to do it. I was actually scared for Kier because he was loading up in a tower, so he knew. Innovation knew that the drop was coming.
Now, eventually, Innovation should be able to clear this up, even taking down a half-full medevac. But right, okay, you beat me to it with the casterism there. But right, that's incredible damage done by Kier with a very well-timed drop.
Yeah, and another thing is like Kier can keep threatening to do the same thing that just happened, you know?
Yeah, there's no hiccups in Kier's game plan right now. He took a little bit of economic harass early on, but he's firing on all cylinders, 3 bases up, and he has a huge army moving across the map.
Yeah, I don't think he'll right out be able to just kill Inno by pushing in. That would actually be one way Inno can come back. But again, you can do the same thing. Look at that. He's going for the drop again. I was going to say, you can do the same thing he did the first time. And Innovation kind of has to respect the frontal push. Okay, he has a sensor tower in a really good position.
Oh, here he goes. Boosting back in. Wait, are you serious? There's no...
okay, he can't. He can't drop here. This would be really bad, I think.
He's going to try it. There is a missile turret, and he will kill the tank. Stimming underneath. A good tank shot off onto those clustered Marines. But way more medevacs there for Innovation. He will clean that up.
That was really, really good for Inno. That was like a comeback, almost a comeback move. 68 workers to 59 is the biggest disadvantage for Inno right now. But really, army size is not that big of a difference. He's actually ahead right now, but army in general doesn't mean too much in TVT.
Right. The 4th base coming up for Cure is going to be his attempt to kind of leapfrog Innovation. Say, well, maybe you beat my army right there, but I'll have a faster base and more macro, and you should be able to push across the map. But Innovation will try with this double drop heading out.
I kind of wish Inno would push for stuff like this earlier, because Kier's been so far on the map with his army that it would be really scary for this kind of stuff. Obviously, Kier's going to have full scout of these double drop, so he won't really take any damage from it now. But if this was like stuff that was happening earlier, when Kier was going for his own pushes, the counter damage can be so huge.
Exactly right.
This is not going to do much anymore, though.
Yeah, I mean, getting it scouted, sure, it clears out the watchtower, but see exactly how much of a catch Kier is able to get. I think Innovation should just pull totally back with that. But Kier does have map control, and he's going to use that to defend this new 4th that he has on the way.
Yeah, Kier in a really commanding position. I don't think Kier needs to go for anything more aggressive now. That's kind of why I felt, in general, that medevac push was kind of a bad idea. And obviously, it didn't go very well. But like, you just don't need to do that. It's unnecessary. Sure, you may win, but if you keep those units, you play your advantage, you actually have a way better chance of just winning the longer game, right?
Kier coming in and trying to snipe off any scouts that come out onto the map. Of course, he doesn't want to walk into siege tank fire, but actually... Did he lose a medevac there?
Whoa! That would have been really, really
okay,
good.
Kier.
If he would have killed those 4 medevacs, that would have been insane.
Just trying to restart my pacemaker right now. Beautiful usage of Vikings this game. For Innovation, he's always had that air advantage. He lost them after having landing, but this is...
That was a lot of army to just lose for
A lot.
Kier.
Yeah, big win there by Innovation. He uses his air advantage, his mass Viking count, to totally stomp Kier's force out on the map.
I think Kier just needs to be more conservative with his units at this point. Like, he's in such a good spot economically. If you move out with a maxed army or something like that, that's way better than just kind of trickling units and leaving them on the map and losing them.
Well, here goes Innovation, finally committing to taking down the destructible rocks in front of his fourth base, which is about to be up and running. Of course, Kier is a little bit of an advantage there.
I think Innovation actually is a pretty good timing here. I don't know how many Vikings Kier has. I know he's building 3 starports. That's a lot of starports.
Yeah, but the starports are in production. They're not making Vikings, right?
Exactly.
So Kier has the realization that he needs an air advantage or some way to come back, but he doesn't have that just yet. So now is the time for Innovation to strike.
This is pretty much the optimal time. I think if he waits too long, these starports are going to be insanely scary, especially when he starts producing Liberators, which I'm assuming is what he's going for. Yeah, so far this has been a pretty good push for, you know. Okay, here, there's actually 2 Liberators already out.
Oh, late unsiege there by Kier. He's going to lose one tank.
Yeah, but that's still really annoying.
And all Innovation has to do is siege unsiege, which I think more so than maybe every other player he is very, very good at. Coming forward now, trying to, trying to stim in and take out these Liberators. He just can't get through the withering tank fire.
He pretty much made the best of a bad situation. There's actually not enough here, I don't think, to really deal with this. These tanks siege up. They should be enough to kill all the tanks for Kier.
Yeah, more siege tanks in the back for Innovation. More Marines in the front as well. And he will steamroll through everything. Behind at some points, but not out. Innovation going to be steamrolling into this natural expansion, and I don't know if there's enough here for Kier to defend down over double, or half rather, of Innovation's army supply.
I don't think there really is. He caught him in really bad position for transitioning with the triple starport even.
I mean, fine, the Vikings are out now, but this is just way too late. There's Marines on the ground to push them back, and way superior siege tank and medevac count for Innovation.
Yeah, Innovation hit a perfect timing, by the way. Like a perfect timing. If he waits too long, Kier's anti-air army gets way too big.
Yeah, also, Kier had the a slight upgrade disadvantage there for a second, or upgrade advantage on tanks, but he took them out, was able to, Innovation was able to steamroll through after that to take game number 1 against Kier.
Yeah, I think Kier really mismanaged this game. He was really, really far ahead. Like, don't get me wrong, really, really far ahead when he did the drop, and there was pretty much nothing to contest. He killed 23 workers and saved almost all the Marines. And then he went back in and lost pretty much everything. There was just a really unnecessary drop by Kier. He should have played his advantage, but he didn't. Got a little bit overeager, and I think he got punished for it.
Right, and that is what does make Innovation. That's about the expression of that last series. He knows he had a great position and then kind of threw it away a couple of times. But that is why, like I was saying, Innovation is such a good player, because he knows those tiny little missteps and how to punish them, and he just did such an expert job out there. But it was very, very close, and at times Kier did have an advantage. So if you're an Innovation apologist out there, maybe take some time to rethink your argument, because Kier is looking very, very strong, and even just that might worry Innovation after saying that he was a little bit shaky in his interview.
Yeah, I think this is really good for Inno though. When you're up 1 and you already, if you came back, honestly, you came back. You were behind, so you should feel really good this position.
Well, we're going on to Lost and Found for our second game. This best of 3. See you there.
Oh, here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Kier, my man. Usually you would do something like this if you're up a game in a series and maybe have one to burn, but Kier, back up against the wall, is going to go for the proxy 2 racks.
I think it's a little unnecessary, to be honest. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can totally work. It's just a little bit risky. Also, Lost and Found of all maps, I don't think, well, I mean, there is a jump spot near the Nat, or near the main. I guess this is actually an okay map for proxy. It's definitely better than 16-bit.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that last map is not a I mean, you guys can try it, but probably leave that build at home. I'm always curious to see exactly how much gets proxied here and for how long. There are, I guess, ways where
It'll
you
just
can...
be 2 racks with a factory at home, I think.
Yeah. I always get a little bit worried, because sometimes you'll see like the 3 and then the 4 and the extra SCVs. At that point, you're really, really committing. But... you know, this isn't like...
Yeah, in TVT, the only viable proxy really Like there are other really, really weird ones. If he ever did like 4 racks or something, like we would all be freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, no, that would just be the craziest.
Yeah, this is just like this actually isn't hugely all in. I think is what you were saying. Like this is pretty much
right.
It's a committed thing. Don't get me wrong. It should do damage, but it doesn't. You don't just lose if it doesn't do anything.
Right, and you also don't have to just keep mass-producing Reapers over and over and over again.
The biggest thing here, sorry, actually, Innovation has no idea, and he has an SCV scouter or anything, right?
That's true, and that's one of the things that punishes you. There was a very iconic series in, I think, last season of SSL, where Byun played TY. TY was vastly superior at the time, but Byun cheesed him, I think, 4 games in a row and punished him for never SCV scouting. So now, we'll see if the Reapers can catch Innovations. Kira is getting a big advantage. A couple of shots there. That Reaper's going to have to go back and heal. That means that Kira can actually camp Innovations production facilities.
Yeah, this is actually really, really good for Kira. I was thinking if he waited a little bit longer and let the Reaper leave, that would have been so much better, but this is actually doing way more than I thought it would. You might get the Reaper here! Oh my god, that was so close.
If he wanted to commit, maybe sack 1 Reaper, he could kill off Innovations, but now he's going to start healing up and he's going to pull back, and we do have a couple more Reapers on the way, but with a Hellion out, that is Innovations' path to stabilizing.
Okay, here's the factory from Kira. This is a normal follow-up for it. The nice thing for Kira is this isn't a Cyclone, because Cyclones absolutely
he gets
destroy
the jump up through the natural. Attacks the command center for some reason, but he's trying to micro his heart out here. A couple of bounces, but nothing consequential.
Scary.
And, moving up, he does catch a couple of Reapers.
Okay, that would have been insane if he'd saved all of them.
Yeah, if he had saved all 4, then all of a sudden you can heal those back up, come back in with an advantage. But this is
Might
Innovation.
get one more? If he gets that Hellion.
He gets a Hellion.
Okay.
That is the bonus right there. But
that's actually not a terrible trade.
Oh, and actually, Inno's out of position. He'll have a Hellion spawning right now. This should mean a couple more SCV kills.
He's going to get the Hellion again, at least. One more Hellion goes down? Yeah, of course. He might get this Reaper, too. Okay.
My man.
He should get this Reaper, possibly? No, okay, getting out. That's wise of him.
Still producing Reapers off
really
those
good trade,
proxy
though.
racks.
Look at this, 5 Reapers for 2 Hellions, 2 Reapers, 6 SCVs. That's pretty efficient, I would say. 600 resources for 200.
Thankfully, we have all of that added up right underneath. I would never be able to do the multiplication in my head. But yeah, that's a win for Kira off of this strategy. But it doesn't mean that there's critical damage done to Innovation. He's still exactly identical on workers. Okay, 1 off. There
you know
we
what's
go.
really, look at this. This Rax is going to scout the starport. Wait, yeah, the starport's in the main, right?
It is.
I was going to say that.
It's not proxied.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to scout if it was proxied or something.
If it was proxied, then all of a sudden we get really scared for Kira.
I think the proxy Stargate would have been, or starport would have been awesome, but yeah. This is a really nice scout for Kira. I can only imagine he's actually scouting it right now. Yeah, their engineering bay goes down. This is really, really nice. Kira in a really good spot, honestly. The CC going down. He might be able to scout the CC too. Scouting Cloak.
Turn around for it.
Yeah, it would be a really nice scout if he scouts the CC.
Will he though?
It's pretty close.
Oh wow, he's actually not going to steer towards it. Maybe that barracks has a lot of hit points.
Yeah, he definitely could have. It's not a huge deal if he loses that Rax either. What is he going to do, fly it all the way home and use it later?
Yeah, he's got the bonus racks back at home, and realistically is not going to be producing from those for a while. Yeah. So Cloak Banshee is on the way for Cure. On the other side, it's just a fake Cloak upgrade there for Innovation.
Is he going to come back and scout? This kind of reminds me of an Overlord. Except Overlords are way squishier.
All right, I'm waiting for Innovation to cancel this Cloak. I think he might actually finish it. Okay, I didn't actually see the Banshee going out across the map, but he will finish the Cloak, so it's going to be coming in for both sides. Is there a Raven or detection back at home? I guess there's a turret already up.
I think canceling Cloak would have been the best, actually. Because Kira, it's not like Innovation's like, well, maybe this isn't a Banshee Cloak.
Maybe by 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, he won't have prepared for my scout.
Oh,
gets it! Right on the borderline. It's where he's going to wait for you. Snipe you out of the air.
That was a really good pickoff. Again, I don't think it's actually a huge deal to, like, I don't think there's a real reason to finish Cloak. It's not like you're going to catch them off guard. Maybe you can use it defensively, like a Cloak Banshee kind of forces a Raven or something, but it almost always is a Raven anyways after the Banshee, so.
Right. Well, a lot of times, that's why I actually thought it was fake. At first, you'll just make the Raven and then make queue up Cloak, but.
Innovation's taking this mistake, though.
Oh, okay.
Really nice control by this Banshee.
Yeah, his Raven was actually out of position. That gets, what, 3 Marines?
Oh, okay. Now,
okay, well,
Kier kind of overstaying his welcome.
Yeah.
That was really nice control by Kier for a little bit, and then obviously getting a little bit overzealous, in my opinion.
Indeed he did. So now we're going to see both of our players kind of transition into what their next phase of these builds are going to look like. For Innovation, he wants to get his air advantage back up, so he's going to be reactoring out Vikings, most likely behind us. And from what we've seen previously from Cure, maybe he's going to start up into that heavy drop play after it got him such a big advantage in Game 1.
Personally, I think this map is better for the drop play. Like, you see that ledge next to the main. There's kind of a spot where you can put a tank on the low ground. It'd be really annoying. And then drop up on the high ground or something like that. There's more drop potential on this map, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's just that huge spot in the back of your main that most of the time players don't build like pylons or supply depots in there to just check and see if anybody's coming in. Kind of like an acid plant at the same time. But man, second time is not the charm here for Cure. He is going to get completely taken out, but he does get 4 SCVs, so kind of paying for itself with that tech.
Yeah, he just sacked that. He knew, obviously he knew it wasn't going to do much. Honestly, Banshees don't really have utilization past a certain point in the game.
Unless you're going that like mass hyperflight rotor Banshee
Nobody
style.
does that.
Nobody
in TVT,
does that
yeah,
anymore.
That would be insane.
Innovation was one of the first people to kind of do that, along with like Maru and a few others, but definitely not in TVT.
Yeah, in TVT it didn't make much sense. You're just like, well, I've got Marines.
Yeah, I've also got like, you know, Ravens that can paint your Banshees orange.
I can just stem. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff you can do.
Right. So, unfortunately, not going to see my favorite build, but at the end, Cure, he got out there and did a little bit of damage, but hasn't managed to really stop Innovation at any turn.
Yeah, I mean, this Helly can chase as much as he wants. I don't think he's getting the cycle.
It's the optimism, Hellion. Mom said if I just tried hard enough, I could catch. No, sorry, Hellion. There's no winning there.
It's not happening.
But hey,
nice
third base coming up. Oh, a little bit unlucky time. Oh, wait.
Yeah, nice scout on the third.
Oh, he's not going to kill the SCV and delay it anymore, but that's right. The scouting information is what's most important.
Yeah, he's scouting the fact that there's no army at the natural would probably be really big. He should know that there's a push coming for him. This is actually the part, this is the spot I was talking about where it gets really annoying if he sieges up next to the wall, which he might do. Looks like he's going to go for it. Yeah, that's what I was talking about right there. Actually, Cure already knows.
No way.
Yeah,
All right.
Cure's
Sick positioning.
Great.
Oh, but nice interference. Matrix double
From
on
both,
the other
yeah.
side. This is crazy. And he actually, Innovations is going to run out first, so he will get the last second shot there on the damage tank on the low ground. Will he actually take it out in time? No, he doesn't.
Man.
And with another one coming through, Cure's tanks get exploderated on the high ground. And force a lift on that command center, and this is a very good entrenched position for Innovation.
Yeah, Kieran knew this was going to come, honestly. He had a good spot for it, but he might be able to use the Cyclone to kill that Raven. Oh, what was I saying?
My man.
Look at that.
All right, the caster curse not in effect today. I guess that's what happens when you bring the players in.
I would like to see him reposition his tanks now. He actually doesn't have vision of it. He definitely wants to be repositioning, though.
Oh, no. Kyrie's going to lose another tank here. Or is that just
bunker?
Just barely out of range. But yeah, losing the bunker, the Marines inside.
Oh, this tank's
big
going down.
opportunity. Oh, taking the National not sieged. It disappears. It dies that fast. And with a big stim in, that's it. GG. Innovation takes game number 2 for the 2-0 over Cure.
Yeah, really, really well played, honestly. He had really good positioning the entire game.
But it's not like Cure just laid down and rolled over, right? Innovation actually was stressed a lot in game number 1.
Yeah.
Put in a very bad spot by that first drop, but I think game number 2 really, really showed why he is such a great Terran player.
Yeah, I honestly thought Kier might be the one to abuse that positioning. We were talking about like drops and like, oh yeah, maybe putting tanks in that position would be great. So it's kind of funny that we saw Inno instead abusing Kier the way I thought Kier would abuse Innovation.
In the end, Cure does go down and Innovation advances on to our winners match to face off against Stats. So we will have that match coming up when we return. Don't go anywhere.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Wait! 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 Wait!
You are the monster. The thoughts left in my head. Thought you could save me, but I'm better
genius that was born again in the dawn has grown to be the king. But the battle is only about to begin. Take your opponents down, or you will fall down under their feet. There will be only glory for the winner, and pain for the loser. Rise up, higher, ever higher. Or fall forever. 2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Code S Group C. We are heading into the winners match after our first two maps, Innovation and Stats, playing off against each other after 2-0ing their opponents. But the games were actually pretty close coming into this winners match.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit disappointing. I really felt Kira had the first game. We would have had a third game if he would have won. So, unfortunately, we got two 2-0s.
That could have been the case. I still don't know exactly what the map choices are going to be. I'm really hoping that we get Atlas at one of our maps. It reminds me a little bit like Ohana, kind of in the middle. It's got some really cool tile sets we haven't seen in a while, so I really want to see that out there, but I don't think that it's going to be very popular. Either way, this is like the 10,000th time we've seen Stats versus Innovation. It's two of our old school players playing in GSL, and unfortunately, we will not see GSL Atlas.
Yeah, Stats beating it, I think, is wise. I think this is slightly Terran potential on it. Like, if you spawn close positions, there's a lot of tank push stuff that you can do in TVP. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Dreamcatcher will be our first map, and then after that, Acid Plant Catalyst. I feel like this is almost unanimously what you're going to see. Dreamcatcher, Acid Plant Catalyst, or maybe some Lost and Found. But we'll start our first map on Dreamcatcher. Let's do it.
I missed who picked Dreamcatcher. Did you see?
Did you?
I missed it.
I think Stats had first game, so it might have been Innovation.
Splice.
That would make sense to me.
Stats.
That is Stats, and this is OG.
O Gaming TV. Innovation.
I still think OG is cooler. Still lots of cheers in the audience for Innovation, even though he is now officially French. It's good to see him over there at Nation Wars and Home Story Cup most recently. Wasn't exactly sure if he was going to make it to the finals of Home Story Cup. The Korean representation Home Story Cup was actually just so stacked.
Yeah. It was funny that Sue came second at Home Story Cup too. It's like, come on, man.
You can't write these storylines.
He was up. Like, it was like, okay, this is going to be his first championship, guys. And then it was like, nope. And it was like, no. You're a Sue. Don't forget who you are, man. So.
Yeah. Nobody counts Kespa Cup, by the way, guys. Oh, thanks for coming down. I'm not sure if they have earphones in, but it's cool to see all the people in the audience today.
Yeah, TVP, though, on Dreamcatcher.
Oh, boy.
I know this map from TVZ, and it is very obnoxious with your tanks in this map.
Certainly, it reminds me a little bit of like Acid Plant, or maybe, what was it, the Under the Sea map that I can't remember.
The Under the Sea map?
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that one. The one where the units float up. The most popular map ever that I somehow can't remember right now.
I can't remember it either now.
Either way, that map, lots of crazy spots to put your tanks in. Same situation here on Dreamcatcher with those constructions in the middle. Walls that you can fit your tanks behind that make it very, very difficult for things like Zerglings to get on top of, and also things like Zealots have a hard time kind of wrapping around. Lifetime stats for Stats and Innovation. Actually a little bit closer than I thought, but Innovation's still on top in both all-time and Legacy of the Void stats.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, Innovation, especially TVP, is a pretty scary matchup, especially with their Marauder buff and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how he plays it out. Also, on this map in general, it's going to be really scary. There's a lot of abusive stuff you can do on it, especially because it's his first pick as well. So he's got to be feeling pretty comfortable with this map.
Yeah, has to have some designer builds in this way. Is he going to get a probe? No. Okay, wow. Already a little bit of bonus there for Innovation off of his Scouting Reaper.
Yeah, Twilight coming down. This is pretty standard PVT right now. Unless he goes for like a Dark Shrine or something, but this should just be Blink Stalker. Like four Stalkers usually off this.
Did Innovation pre-pull the SCV from the command center?
I don't know. Did it die? I feel like it died.
Okay, I might not have seen that. 0 kills on that adept, so he pre-pulled it. Wow. The adaptation, knowing the timing that the adept would get there. So now he'll send it back, finish up the command center. A little bit of a delay, but Stats still loses the first adept.
Biggest thing here is a really nice scout for Stats. Should know that there isn't anything crazy coming. Blink Stalkers in this situation should be really strong, too.
Yeah, a sigh of relief when you know that you're not getting cheesed by an invasion.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about Cyclones or anything either, so should feel really comfortable with that.
So you mentioned Blink is going to be a very strong build for Stats. Is that just because of his control? Because I think I've usually seen him just play defensively.
I mean, Blink in general is just like really well utilized in this matchup right now. Like we see it almost every game, I think. At least, I mean, you can do other things, don't get me wrong, but I think Blink is like the most comfortable that Protosses feel. You go into Blink and then you can go into Disruptors or whatever you want to go into. And it's really comfortable against like Cyclone stuff, as long as you get your first 4 Stalkers and use them really well. So that's usually why we see it. Because you have your first 4 Stalkers defensively anyways, so you might as well get Blink for them.
Right, it does really empower them, especially in the hands of a god like Stats. I wonder if this is just a reaction to kind of seeing Innovation play that last game where he was never like playing hyper aggressively, right? So maybe trying to call his hand, say, hey, maybe you're not going to push me at a timing that'll punish that early third.
Yeah, I think again, when you're going Blink Stalker, you can be pretty forward with your Stalkers in general. So you can get a lot of intel on when your opponent's moving out to attack you. Not going to get too much. You just get a scout that is Blink. That's really not a big tell. I feel like, okay, Stats misses this. He has to push up right now and see that there's no units here. He does push up.
Big realization.
Oh, is he going to get trapped? Oh my god, Innovation dropped his Marines.
Oh my god, this is so smart by Innovation.
He should get out though.
Yeah, some SCVs are going to go down, but in the end, that is an excellent blink.
That was beautiful. That could have been really scary for Stats. Losing these 4 Stalkers is actually huge. When you look at what he has, he doesn't really have much defensively, especially when he's taking his 4th base. Double Forge too. This is super greedy, so like he needs to keep these units alive if he wants to not
Yeah,
just
all of a
die.
sudden, if you lose 4 Stalkers here, Stats just has, I mean, not no army, but he would have gone down to maybe like sub-10 army supply.
I mean, what does he actually have? He has like 5 Stalkers at home.
Yeah,
so.
that's about it. So it's only Stalkers here. I didn't catch, there are no Marauders mixed into this, so even, oh, saves that with a nice blink again. So
this is his army.
Yeah, that is his army. Back at home, even just 1 Marine able to get in there and get a probe kill because there's just nothing at home.
Yeah, see, Inno keeps dropping his Marines to try and catch these 4 Stalkers, but he doesn't get them, which is really good for Stats. Like losing these Stalkers would be a really big deal.
And I guess in some ways that's exactly what this is designed to do for Stats, to put on annoying pressure that maybe the player will react to defensively and give Stats the opportunity to come back from such a greedy opening.
It looked like he was gonna go for the SCV pull, and then it's just like, nah, never mind. Which is not usually indecisiveness we see from Innovation. He's usually like, okay, I'm doing it, I'm doing it.
This guy is super decisive. Either way, 1-1 and charge on the way with 3 extra gateways and a robo. So there's always the chance we could see some sort of 1-1 charge lot all in after this, but I do think that this is going to be very powerful against what Innovation is doing.
Why there? Why is Inno sieging there? He's trying to bait the Stalkers to come towards him? I don't understand.
Maybe like blinking after this? Or just getting...
Hello?
Wait, what?
That was a bit of a mistake, losing 2 Stalkers there, 3 Stalkers?
Stats' blink control has actually been really good so far, so a little bit uncharacteristic there. Either way, 1-1 and charge are just now finishing up.
I can't understand why Inno doesn't go for the push or try it. Like he saw, what, he saw 4 Stalkers, and he's like, okay, I gotta back up. That's a few too many there.
I want to hear the voices in his head telling him not to push in these opportunities. Like,
like you can put, you're not going to lose your entire army is what I'm saying.
He's had a vast army advantage this entire time
well,
because
Stats
has been so greedy.
Especially with this map, this is kind of what you're designed to do. Like you have these cliffs that you can use to your advantage, especially when you're going tank pushes. So it's kind of surprising not to see it, unless he wants to go for a really big 2-base tank push or something like that. But as the time goes on, he gets less and less of an advantage, especially with an economic advantage that Stats has.
I mean, as is, he is just playing safe and sound back at home, going to start his third base here really quickly. Just macroing it up.
I kind of feel like he's just going to go for a huge 2-base push, which I don't think is any better than what he was going to do before.
You are correct. I definitely thought he was sieging out in front of his third base to try
comes.
to start it out. But okay, all right, you called it, no regret. It's pulling the boys, or the indiscriminate SCVs, of course.
Oh my God, Stats has no idea, really.
He's going to see it right now. I mean, he won't see the SCVs for a while, but here they come. And oh man, there's a lot of Zealots. They are 1-1, and they do have charge. So
he's actually not sieging behind the cliffs. This is a bit of an interesting position to do. Oh, he's unsieging now too.
I think Stats, yeah, he sees what's coming, and he's just going to give it up.
100%. I mean, you see SCVs, you're like, no, I don't think I need to save my third anymore.
Archons are going to be a really big help to Stats here, up in the front line. Kill off the SCVs very, very quickly.
If he can wait till 3-3, I think he can roll this. Oh, 2 bunkers coming down. This is really nice. He just needs to wait. He needs to get 3-3. Okay, plus, or this is, sorry, 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2
is coming.
Just say 3-3, yeah, he would win that. But no, 2-2 is going to be a
really
big deal. And here we go, 2-2 right on time. Bunkers at the front, going to be focused down. Zealot charging all the way to the back to try to deal with those SCVs that have been pulled. They will actually crush through there and start to get onto the tanks and Marines in the background. Wing Stalkers actually not being really controlled up there in the front ground. And I think Innovation might just have too much.
Yeah, that was really, that was the best timing Stats had, and it didn't work. Not even close.
GG, Innovation. A very strong 2-base push. You know, we were saying, hey, he's not being aggressive. Little do we know how small are our brains. Innovation. The big brain move there at the end, pulling the boys to great effect to take game number 1 against Stats in the winners match.
I mean, it was looking like he was going to do a timing before that. Like, he pulled his workers, and then he's like, no, never mind. And then he pulls his workers again. So it's like, he was waiting for concussive and other things, and he didn't even really have any Marauders, so it's just like, why? And then the siege up in the middle of the map was kind of interesting. But, you know, Cat really did a really good job hitting that timing and killing the third as fast as possible.
You know, for every build we see, there are hundreds that we don't, and so maybe Innovation is just making sure he doesn't die to a lot of things that maybe they're not happening, but he still stays alive. And all he needs to do, make it to a point, hits that kill switch and engages it, takes out Stats in game number 1. Game 2 is on Acid Plant. We'll see if maybe Stats has a build specifically designed to get it back into the series, or else Innovation is just going to 4-0 his way onto the round of 16.
Stats actually picked Dreamcatcher.
Okay, so Stats did Dreamcatcher, which is kind of strange.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Acid Plant is the second pick for, which is a bit more for a better pick for Protoss, I think. So I don't know. I really don't know. Interesting.
Here we go. Game number 2. We'll see if Stats can bring it back.
Match 2. Fight. Splice. Stats.
Oh my God. The fans.
Or fans specifically. Yeah, that's a lot of passion in the crowd for that guy. Of course, a lot of fans for the Terran player in the red. He is
O Gaming TV. Innovation.
I see how it is. You don't give Stats an intro, just Innovation.
It's the introless intro. It's meta. So, modern art. This is modern casting. No regret. This is our chance to get experimental while Tasteless and Artosis are away.
Yeah, nothing they could do.
You'll never stop us in time.
Yeah.
It's cool to take over for a little bit. And, of course, if you are looking for StarCraft 2 action, there's a whole lot of it. Not the least of which is Group D coming up on Saturday and this weekend at a good time zone for all of you North American viewers out there. So make sure to remember everything that is coming up. We'll have some more graphics about the other competitions on the way. But let's actually get into this game. Innovation had a very, very solid sort of defensive play style until he really kicked it in later on in that game 1, and Stats couldn't hold on. So I'm sure Stats this time around is going to want to be a little bit better appraised of exactly what's coming his way.
I think Inno did an amazing job denying scouting. Because normally with that build, the Blink build, you have a lot of vision with Stats.
Oh my God, get me out of here. I'm glad to see if I can't be a hashtag big fan down there in the audience that we have My man, picking up the slack. So
I think that's a great philosophy. I actually play like that. No regrets in Rapid. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
Great advice. I rapidly have many regrets when I play.
Do that. That guy has a great,
We've got the build orders. We've got the strats. We also have the stats.
What I was saying before, stats usually with the Blink build, you want to get a lot of vision. Like that's the best thing about Stalkers. You can actually just keep them alive and keep them out there. But he didn't really keep them out there because Inno was doing this weird stuff with his medevacs where he's like trying to trap the Stalkers and Stats like, no. If I lose these, I lose. So he went home after a while, which is not something you normally do. And I honestly think that was just Inno's plan. Like he wasn't really going for the counter to drop or do other things. He just wanted to keep the vision away so he could do this really interesting timing. Yeah, and it worked out amazingly.
I definitely undervalued, the significance of denying vision just to get to that one point where when he does pull the SCVs, Stats doesn't scout that until very, very late. And even with the 2-2 timing that Stats hit right on time for Innovation's push, it's just a little bit too much. So let's keep an eye on this game. It is starting out very, very standardly, although this is a Stargate opening.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Stargate is actually really, it's also very, very well utilized. Again, another build that you need a lot of vision with, right? So this is kind of like the Protoss backbone. It's just like good scouting. And that's why you see Stargates and Twilights and whatever you may see. Those builds in general are really good for scouting. We'll have to see how much this Oracle. The Oracle usually doesn't do too much, especially if the Cyclone's at home.
Yeah, this is an Oracle first, so it's nothing like...
I like this. I really like this. So he's banking 2 Oracles so he can one-shot SCVs. This is actually way better than sending 1 Oracle in, I think.
Also very good against Marines. There's a low number protecting any mineral line. You just get in there, zap them down, and then tons of SCVs died. And more importantly, Terrans do not have shield batteries, so Oracles are always really, really effective in that you can't just build a building to keep everything safe.
Yeah. I mean, this would be the way you'd want to play against shield batteries too. Double Oracle, it's really good because you can just one-shot Pro. It's not enough time for a shield battery to heal.
Is he making 3? No, he's going to get a Phoenix.
Oh, you know what he could do? He could pick up this Cyclone and go into the Oracles. He might. It's actually pretty impressive if he does that. Because then you're kind of gambling on the fact that there's only 1 Cyclone. Because otherwise, there's no real reason to have. Like, you're not going to pick up 1 Marine and be like, well, now I can attack.
Well, neither player really has much information about what the other is going for right now. So
I just feel like Stats is playing like he does.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And we highlighted this from Stats in his earlier match against Gyung, against Hurricane, that he just really seemed to know without knowing, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Another nice thing, he can use the Phoenix for vision to decide whether he wants to send the Oracle to the Nat or not.
And it might just look like a Phoenix first. It's coming in a late timing.
Way too many Marines to actually do anything here, I think.
Yeah, he's going to come in. Oh, he's going to lose that Phoenix. Oh, very, very careful. Trying for that micro.
Oh, you actually can't. Well, I don't know why I thought you could one-shot SCVs. You can't with 2, so...
No, you would have had to wait until 3.
Oh,
but
hello?
Oh, no, Stats.
Yeah, so I don't know what the significance of saving, too. I feel like this is better against Protoss. Specifically.
Well, unfortunately, Innovation is not Protoss. Is one of the best Terran players out there, and you're starting to see why. Just grabbing every little tiny advantage and checking for any place that he can get that. So going out on the map, sniping an Oracle. Oh man, fractions of a second he would have been able to kill that Oracle with the Marines.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to blink again, by the way. So, I mean, he didn't do anything really with this. The one thing is, it's a little bit easier to get vision with this than the Blink Stalkers. Although, yeah, like with Revelation, it lasts a lot longer, and you can get out almost 100% of the time, where Stalkers can die.
You know, the difference this game is that in Game 1, Stats already had a lot of Stalkers, so you're like, okay, get Blink because it helps all your units. In this game, he has a fewer Stalker numbers, but is still going for Blink and is starting +1 at the same time. But, I mean, Innovation is going to try to get out and maybe make a little bit of pressure happen. I don't know how effective this is going to be with high ground advantage going to Stats.
It shouldn't do much. There's also no tanks here, so it's not like you get some damage with the bio soaking up for it, but realistically, he's not going to be able to do too much. It's just like a pressure. You're like, oh, look, I've got units, build something.
Ooh, baits out that Guardian Shield, so that's a little win there for Innovation. And he is medevacing units out across the map to join here, so his forces will continue to strengthen. The forces of evil grow stronger.
That doesn't really want to attack. He's just kind of posturing that he does to kind of at least buy time for this other drop and to make Stats produce units instead of workers. You can see there's no workers in production right now.
I love how Innovation is not committing at all with this push. He's just poking
Okay, here
up.
comes the committing.
Here he goes. I'm curious how long he wants to fight this. He's going to try to get the mines to burrow in from the side. They will actually burrow very close to Stats' army. Will they go off, though? No, it looks like they are not quite close enough. Stats doing a great job controlling back and forth, using that blink micro to stay alive, and really controlling his army beautifully by that shield battery. Being a great spot against Inno.
Yeah, that was really, really good defense. I thought Stats or Inno would go for the drop or something, because it kind of just fought into the position that Stats wanted him to fight in.
That's why I didn't think Innovation was going to commit right there, but then he goes for the stim, runs in, there's perfect force fields and control. Stats really on point with his defense, which I feel like is the most common sentence said about Stats of all.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference here this game is Stats has had full vision of Innovation's army the entire game. With these revelations, like, he knows exactly where his army is at all points in the game, except for that first game where he didn't see it and it just killed him. So
right.
You can see that he's adapting to the first game, clearly.
Now behind this, what adaptation that Innovation is making is that he's going for a third base, right? He's got it up and pretty much running as he Maynards his SCVs over there. And it does have an army back home to defend it, but Stats is looking for a little bit of revenge of his own on the counter push.
Yeah, again, this is kind of another fronting kind of thing. Wow, nice pick off on these units, though.
Beautiful force fields, but a nice emergency medevac hot pickup, to save a few of them. Either way, Stats is putting on pressure and getting a third base of his own behind this.
Yeah, this is a great
fourth base.
This is a great spot to be in, especially if he's he's keeping Innovation back. There's nothing he really needs to worry about. And whenever you're in a Protoss position where you're not really worried about anything, you kind of just feel like you can do whatever you want. You pretty much can, especially when you have like full vision of the army coming towards you like this. Storm on the way and charge. These are like the really big hitters, especially if you get them. There's no tanks or anything like that. This is just like a complete bio army. Storm is actually extremely deadly in this situation.
Yeah, +2 as well. So when those Zealots hit, it is going to be very, very hard. Needs to hang on, and I think even canceling this fourth base might be a good idea. I don't think there's any way Stats holds this.
Yeah, I think, he should be able to. There's a little bit mispositioning out of Stats. Again, the one time he doesn't have a vision of the army, he loses something. He just needs to keep on that vision. Oh, bit of a doom drop here. That's pretty interesting.
Oh, no, and this is what I was talking about, an acid plant. This is just what... Okay,
no recall?
Okay, needs to move the mines towards the ramp to burrow, but he's actually just going to do it to defend his army right where it lies. Marauders are actually totally flanking this army, and they're actually going to run into the third base and start killing probes. So might need to get an angle on that. Yeah, there it is. The Marauders totally split off, and they're going to be killing probes right and left. And look at this army Inno has on the high ground. Such a strong position. And even with the storm, there are still mines here. I think they mostly... died in the storm. Innovation picks up, gets out, but is not without a big win at the third.
And he actually cleans up the War Prism too. Okay. I mean, 8 workers, not the end of the world, honestly. I don't know how many. Did he get any structures in the main?
Maybe a pylon or two. I
didn't see. Really not the end of the world. That could have been the end of the game, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. If Stats is like a little bit slower moving his army up there, and maybe the Widow Mines are blocking Stats out of a weird spot.
Yeah.
Could have gone drastically.
I mean, like, if he even killed more than 8. Like, 8 workers, not that much for what that was at the third.
Yeah, and even with Chrono on 3 next side, you're going to be able to get your worker count right back up there. So,
yeah.
The game goes on, and now it's Stats' turn to push across the map into what is a pretty well-defended third base.
A very well-defended third base, yeah. Oh, nice pick up on that. You're definitely not pushing up a ramp like that.
You are not. Oh, blink forward. Wow, great timing on that. Does he take a Widow Mine shot?
He almost EMP'd that ghost, or that Templar. That Templar was really close to being EMP'd.
And I'm glad you pointed that out because ghosts are out, ready to go. So the next time...
nice feedback on one of them.
I love this EMP versus...
He needs to be careful. If he loses all of his storms, that would be devastating.
I think he only has 2 left right now.
It's like 3 storms,
yeah,
I
maybe
think. Oh my god, never mind. The Templar cavalry has arrived.
Indeed they have.
Nice snipe on that last one. I don't think Stats can actually push here. I'm surprised he's trying.
The EMPs have been on Stats' army, so they might be a little bit weak to shield. But he does still have a Guardian shield. With all these storms, Stats or Innovation shouldn't be able to stim in anytime soon.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Like, if he loses the Templar and these storms, he's pretty much GG, because he can just stim on all this army and kill it. So he needs to be really, really careful. And they're really clumped, too. This is scaring me, man. Okay, now he's splitting them off a bit.
Yeah. Oh, blink forward after baiting with that High Templar. The moves from Stats, and another feedback does go off,
Oh my god, these are so close together, though. He needs to split these up a bit more.
Really great feedbacks, but yeah, he's at risk of just having everything EMP'd.
Oh! Dude, Stats is making so much of a bad situation, though.
He really is. And even if he does lose a couple of Stalkers here, okay, he can't lose a couple more than a Stalker or two.
Oh, he saved one of his Templar.
He does save the Templar by damaging the Ghost that was about to snipe it off, but even still, this is a lot of bio for Inno. He's morphing these Archons, but this is not enough. They're not going to be in time. Innovation stimming through. Everything dying here for Stats. The Archons go down. GG. Innovation takes a 2-0 over Stats. Have a perfect run through the winners match in the round of 16.
Yeah, Innovation just too confident, man. Streaming days before his GSL group, he just clearly has no
Easy. He's
risk.
making the stream money. He's making the GSL money.
Yeah.
Cashing in at all points of time. And, you know, it's not the end of the road for Stats, but still a very dominant win for O Gaming's Innovation.
Yeah, definitely. He just really outclassed Stats that game. Like, he was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, for Stats, we talked about how clairvoyant some of his reads have been. Just kind of know what to do as far as builds or positioning. But that last game, he went for that Stargate play, and it really just didn't do a single thing. So let's go ahead and hear what Innovation has to say about advancing on to the round of 16. So just as you expected, you advanced on to the round of 16. You look very strong and in really good condition. So you defeated Cure and Stats 2-0 each. How do you feel?
게임이 좀 잘 된 것 같고 오늘 컨디션도 괜찮아가지고 또 연습을.
So everything really played out the way that I expected in all of those games.
기본기.
I tried really hard. I practiced really hard. And it feels like my basic skills have served me well. So it seems like you are especially showing strong performances in Season 3. This is what I mentioned earlier. He always wins in Season 3. So do you think that buff is here this time? He says, I don't really feel like that's the case. But I guess in Season 3, I feel more desperate to win because it's the last season of the year, so I practice more.
네, 저는 좀 누가 시켜야 하는 스타일이어가지고.
It seems like you always play your strongest when you're pushed to the edge. He says, yeah, I always have really good feelings in Season 3.
자, 오늘 참잡을 데가 없었어요. 택배전에서도 김도욱 선수가
So today you really played flawlessly in your TVT, but Cure seemed to perform really well.
제가 워낙에
And he prepared a proxy build against you. Did you expect that?
당연히 상대가
You know, I opened with 2 gases, and I expected that if he knew that, he wouldn't go for a proxy build, but he did anyway.
요즘 오늘 당하기도 하고 요즘 테란들이 전진 병영을 정말 많이 해요. 조성 선수도 많이 하고 테란 선수들이 GSL에서 많이 보여주시는데 이신영 선수는 사실 그렇게 많이 한 것 같지는 않아요. 본 적이 거의 없거든요. 전진 병영에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지.
And
연습 때는 많이
Forte did it. So what do you think about proxying now as Terran?
전진 병영이 뭐 막혀도.
So when I practiced, I actually proxied a lot too.
그래서 하는 것 같은데요.
And it feels like even if proxies fail, we can still continue the games.
상대가 대처를 되게 잘 해야지.
So even if your opponents do it well, you feel like you can still play the game to your advantage. He says, yeah.
맞고도 오히려 좀 불리해지는 경우가 많아서 그 차이인 것 같아요.
Yeah, if your opponents
전진 병역에 대한 생각을 물어봤는데
try proxy 2 racks, if you can block it, it gives you a huge advantage.
현재 느끼는 종족 밸런스는 어떤가요?
But even if they do block it well, you can still play well after it.
괜찮은데 저그를 못 이기겠어요.
So how's your win rate doing?
저그를 못 이기겠어요. 이병효 선수.
He says, I think I have good win rate versus Protoss, but bad win rate versus Zerg lately.
초중 후반 다 좋더라고요.
So do you think that you'll, how do you deal against Rogue? He says he seems like Zerg just really seems really good right now. Early game, mid game, late game, Zerg just always seems really strong.
응원해주시는 분들께 한마디 하겠습니다.
So do you have any words for your fans who supported you through today's matches?
최근에 방송도 열심히 하고 있고 또
So recently I've streamed a lot.
해주셔가지고 더
and I got a lot of support from my fans there.
또 이제
I think I could practice hard because my fans have been supporting me a lot.
투표 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
이신영 선수가
And I'd just like to throw out there, I think we are doing some voting for GSL versus the world. So if you guys want to get out there and vote for me, then please do that.
그렇군요. 진짜 급하시구나. 알겠습니다. 이신영 선수에게
He says,
GSL에 더 월드 투표도
I think if I have a good result this year, then I deserve to be in GSL versus the world. He says, Yuri encourages people to vote for innovation for GSL versus the world, and I think we should actually talk about that because GSL versus the world is coming up. And that means that it's time for you guys to get out there and vote. So you can either do that by visiting wcs.starcraft2.com or by just checking out Team Liquid. I think there are a couple of links right up there to let you guys know about exactly where to go vote. You can vote for Korean players. You can vote for international WCS circuit players. And here's a look at who are going to be in the running for GSL versus the world. Mario Classic, Stats Rogue, Cyril Neve, Special and Showtime are going to be the GSL All-Stars versus the World All-Stars. You can, of course, see the voting players down below. Something we should note is that the voting ends 1 week from today. That'll be on Wednesday of next week. So you have one more week to get out there and vote for the players that you want to see in GSL versus the world. Of course, that'll be coming up the first week of August from the 2nd to the 5th. So we'll see you next time for the Losers Bash. We'll have that coming up soon.
Want a life that seems a little better than a dream, but I just can't seem to get on my feet. So I gotta let go, gotta let go, gotta let go. I hope someday that you will. Now sit back and think about the life I've had. So much to change, but I can't go back. What happened to that kid who used to play in the street? I think about that kid, he looked just like me. Had a smile, had a home, never grow old. When we grow up, do we have to grow cold? Spend his whole life looking for salvation. Never realized nobody can save him. For all these words, for what they're worth. I know it's hard, I know it hurts. And we laugh at the past, cause that's how we learn. Welcome to the world, now let's watch it burn. A life that seems a little better than a dream. I gotta let go, gotta let go, gotta let go. I hope someday that you will know. You gotta let go, gotta let go. I hope someday you'll understand. Sometimes I sit and wish that I could see a future picture of an older me. Would he be smiling and would he be happy? Say 1,000 words while looking right at me. Is he different or the same old me? Is he still chasing after these same old dreams? I know that I'll never reach perfection. At least he can point me in the right direction. Some grow old and some grow cold. They sell their souls for a heart of gold. God only knows where the hell would I be if I had the old me sitting beside me. I want a life that seems a little better than a dream, but I just can't seem to get on my feet. So I gotta let go, gotta let go, gotta let go. I hope someday that you will know. You
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
GSL Season 3. This is Rock Shield.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Code S Group C. It's like the C in the middle of craft for StarCraft. We are coming back with our lower bracket now. One of our players will be eliminated in Group C.
Yeah, could be another player starting with C.
Well played. Segues on point.
He's got a couple C's in there too.
Oh, I guess he does. I don't know if that's quite the theme that we want to run with here.
Well, we got here with a C.
Indeed,
we got Hurricane with 2 C's.
You were talking about how hard Hurricane has been practicing.
Or only 1 C. I know English, guys. Don't worry.
You really
I don't know why. I thought the R's were the C's,
today.
man. Okay.
The CS. No, it's not that one.
Hurricane with 2 C's, guys.
Definitely a
and
G.
English.
So just, I don't know. There's definitely no way to fit 2 C's in there.
He has practiced quite a bit. I'm really excited for his TVP. I specifically watched him play a lot of games. I don't know if I want to say his partners, but they're really, really good partners.
You're talking about Hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah. I mean, I don't know Kier's partners. I don't live with Kier.
Well, he does live with a bunch of pro gamers who can help him out. You want to practice against Protoss on Jin Air, you've got some good candidates. So it should be very well prepared for this match, but of course you're talking about how hard Hurricane has prepared himself. So let's see how he does. First match, the lower bracket.
Match 1. Fight.
Welcome on to Catalyst in the blue. He is
Jin Air Green Wings. Cure.
And his opponent in the bottom right in the red. This is
Hurricane.
So anticlimactic.
Hurricane.
I hope he doesn't lose, or else he's gonna probably take the bus alone.
Ooh.
That would suck.
Well, to be fair, you guys didn't have to take the bus here. You got chauffeured.
True that.
All the way to the GSL, balling it out. This is what we like to call the team unity bonus.
Yeah, I mean, Hurricane's friend drove us.
That's true. Thanks for coming down, guys. Big fans in the audience. Of course, some big fans watching online. So wherever you are, thanks for tuning in to the GSL Code S today. You made the best choice that you could to listen to No Regret and I talk about some StarCraft. So let's do that. This is another TVP. It's kind of the theme of Group C. But we aren't going to see any crazy proxies, at least just yet. We might have Hurricane trying to hide something again.
Right now. At least right this second, he's just looking for proxies and other things that he shouldn't, that shouldn't be on the map. A lot of times there's proxy factories and stuff like that.
He is the owner of Titan
X1.
EX1. Yeah. Nice to see some representation down there in the audience. And yeah, like you were saying, no proxies. Both players have kind of checked that out. It's just going to be about the most standard opening.
Wow, look at these results.
No Stargates on the way.
10 and 10 and 4 and 5.
I'm glad that they pointed that out because, we all talk about like the Titans, like, innovation or stats, but these guys have actually had very even stats both all-time and in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, most notably I remember because we were preparing Hurricane for IEM, and I remember he took down Cure. I think it was 2-0 or 2-1 in that tournament, so, obviously they both are going back and forth, so I'd be very interested to see how this goes. Especially with both players clearly practicing a lot. Kier having, practice partners with SOS, I assume, and Trap and other people.
I was going to say Trap was streaming a little bit earlier today. Trap321, got a chance to check that out. And obviously is going to be an influence when it comes to practicing against Protoss opponents. So Zealot coming up. Reaper's generally pretty good against the Zealot.
That poor SCV, man.
I wonder how much an SCV like would cost to make. Like you think about, so Koreans call SCVs Gundams because they're just so strong, mostly in Brood War. But the idea is that they're just really strong units, and for one of them to just run into a Zealot and crash, like, okay, maybe need to put that one back on the assembly line.
Swords and stuff. I don't see any swords on the SCV though.
That is true. They also have shields that can tank like 85 banelings. So.
Pretty sure.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Is it though? Yeah, this is going to be the Dark Shrine pylon. So we're going to see DTs again.
Okay, never mind. It's Blink. Okay, never mind. It's CT.
There we go. Dark Shrine coming down.
He started Blink and then canceled it and then built it. He was very indecisive.
Ooh.
Okay.
I wonder if that's just like, you know, the brain in your fingers taking over from the brain in your head.
I'm pretty sure he was just like, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? And then he's like flipping a coin in his head. He's like, go for it.
I mean, that's if you're that indecisive right now, I mean, you really got to go for it. There's a couple more gates coming up back in home.
I have to imagine. Okay, I was going to say, I have to imagine he scouted if you're going to the top right. But he turned around.
It looks like he's not going to.
I think he's in favor of, or instead of going for the scout on the map, he's going to try and scout, you know, the Protoss.
He's going Blink
there's a third base
as well. It's not DT Blink.
This is actually really good. I really like this. The reason why is we know Blink is very common, especially if you get a scout off in the main. You would see Blink, you'd be like, okay, well, this is just Blink. There's nothing scary about that. There's nothing suspicious about that. So I really like the Blink DT build.
Right. The Reaper's going to come back around. I think
this is really good.
Where Blink is going to matter the most.
Okay, this is huge. He
actually wants
chronoing
it.
Yeah, he wants to see this.
Now, ideally, he kills off the Reaper here and then cancels Blink.
No, he leaves Blink. But I think Hurricane wanted that scout. Because if you scout nothing there, you're like, okay, this is DT. Okay, you have to play safe against it, right?
We're taking a look at scan energy, and it's actually, enough for one scan on both orbitals, but
and an engineering bay on the way,
is he going to drop a mule right now? First 2 DTs? I think he has 3 gateways.
He's got 1 turret on the way. Okay, I think he'll be fine here.
Yeah, so you scan to kill the first DT. Is he going to see the shimmer? Instant reaction.
And this turret's going to finish too, so it's not like this second DT will do anything more.
Okay, we already have 1 Blink. Where's the second Blink? Give it to DTs.
DT Blink?
Hell yeah.
Actually, really good play by Kier. I really didn't think you could scout that this is DT with the scout off. Like, he saw 3 gateways and a chrono on the Blink. Don't think it's a huge tell, really.
You know, maybe there is that little tiny pro gamer, knowledge that if you see one thing out of place, it's DTs that we just didn't pick up on. But either way, you're right. That is a great defense. Totally rock solid. 0 damage done from DTs this time by Hurricane.
Yeah.
Oh, now Kier's gonna go scout for this. We'll see how much he can get done with.
Wow, look at this.
Just wait, what?
That was an accident.
Okay, that is the wrong direction to Blink.
He blinked the most injured one in too.
I'm glad that he didn't just warp in at the pylons powering the Dark Shrine, or build the Dark Shrine at his proxy pylon. Otherwise, he would have just lost it right there. So, gonna take that down. Ooh, saves the observer just in case.
You know, another thing is interesting to think about. He scouted the pylon, right? But he didn't kill the DT Shrine because he's not sure if it warped in anywhere else, right? Like the Dark Shrine could be on his side of the map. But so if you find the proxy pylon and there's no DT there, then you're like, okay, well, the Dark Templar Shrine.
Oh, there is a cheeky DT behind this. Scan does pick it off, though. So I think you just keep bleeding scans and then maybe... Oh, there's actually a second scan. So if there's another extra DT that comes from behind here, I'm not sure if there might be enough energy to take it out. Either way, great force fields here. This should be a stronghold by Hurricane.
It's a really stronghold, yeah. Also, you can warp in another DT because you just used his scans, no?
Yeah, I think that's all of his scans, right?
I'm pretty sure. You might have 1 more now, but at this point, it's kind of a little bit too late anyways. I kind of wish they'd blink forward. Only 3 Marauders there?
Yeah, especially if you have an Immortal coming up behind. Even if you do kind of start losing the fight, the Immortal makes up for that.
I mean, like, imagine getting these 3 medevacs. That'd be huge, but he doesn't get them. Pretty okay trade.
Slow warping in another DT back at that Dark Shrine.
Yeah, again, this is what I thought. Because you don't see that second pylon or that first pylon he killed. You 100% are going to look for this other pylon. But you saw that first pylon, you're like, okay, but that's clearly where it was warped in, and you don't think about the second one. So he just has this pylon forward that Kier will probably never scout.
Hope we get a look at Command Center energy here in just a second. 2 scans were used. They were a little bit of a while ago, so...
I mean, there's still a turret there,
Yeah, there's a turret at the front, so how do you circumvent that? I was looking to make sure that there wasn't DT Blink on the way, but oh my god, perfect positioning by Hurricane. That's a big
really
pickoff.
Yeah. I think the DT is skirting in now. I can't tell for sure.
Is he going to scan to kill that observer?
I don't know where the DT is.
Oh, it even activates. Oh, that was not a good time to siege it up.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have died either way, but you're right. Can't really run away from it if it's sieged up.
Instant cancel on that pylon back at home just to get enough money. Trying to hang on here. There's a shield battery and 3 immortals. Gets all those...
this should be more than enough for Hurricane.
Marauders, yeah, this should be really good, especially with that Guardian Shield. So, tanks 1 of the Widow Mines, so 1 active back in the back. The big Warpin of Zealots.
Yeah.
Back at home now. Where's that DT? We haven't kept an eye on it to see what's going on, but either way, okay, 1 nice force field. The mine does go off on a bunch of these Zealots. Nice kiting here. Control by Kira is just really good.
Yeah, Kira's control being really, really well. I don't know what's going on the other side of the map if that DT did anything. I guess not. It probably just died.
I think he has it scouting the 3rd base. Or the 12 o'clock location. Trying to move forward, takes 1 of those Widow Mines. There's another one that does go off, only hits 1 Zealot. The kiting backwards still impeccable. A big link forward though by Hurricane, trying to snipe off some of these medevacs, but the Marauder count's still actually very, very strong, so Hurricane can't overextend right now. Immortals coming up are going to be the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, there he goes. He gets really into the 3rd.
Are these DTs not one-shotting SCVs? That's pretty funny.
Oh, just barely goes down. Yeah, I guess that 1 armor does make a lot of difference.
An attack, yeah. That's just funny. I'm used to seeing DTs kill literally everything in 1 shot. Except for Ultras.
Maybe 2 or 3 shots for those.
Yeah, DTs are pretty strong, man.
They definitely are.
You know what would be cool? If he goes through the center of the map, he can actually cut this army off. But I don't think he's going to, because it's pretty of a committed push here.
Right. If you get caught out of position right there, that can be recipe for losing your army.
Like, imagine if you attack in the Nat and take these rocks down or something, like 2 force fields on the ramp.
Oh my god.
That would be really devastating. Look, please do it. It would be so much better than attacking here, I think.
Scans the army, the warp prism positioning, and the warp in.
Oh, nice EMPs on the Archons. I think both of them are hit right now. Both sentries are down.
Yeah, the sentries is a real big takeout, so no force fields, and this is going to be the last Guardian Shield as well. The Archons are going to be good if they don't just die instantly, but I think Hurricane's not in a great spot right here.
Yeah, he's getting bled down a little bit, honestly. Okay, here comes, he's backing up into the Widow Mines.
A couple do go off. There's still more back in the back. We'll see if Kira wants to move them forward. His ghost control has been really good with the EMPs, and I think he has a couple more ghosts, 3 more on the way.
I like the backup. I think he needs to back up. Because he's just bleeding units right now. Defensively, he's in a way better spot than he is aggressively. Especially with the Warp Prism going out now.
No, he does still have the Warp Prism, yeah, like you said, going out at the 12. We'll see if he can go into the natural miss on that EMP.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is if you can buy time for Disruptors, you pretty much will never die.
Nice feedback there, but it doesn't actually kill the Ghost. There's 5 Ghosts right here. Those are actually deal a lot of damage to Zealots as well as these Widow Mines. Should be enough to clear off the front line. But is there enough back to the back? There's 4 Immortals, but one of them actually can't fire. It's kind of stutter stepping around behind us, but even still, is there enough here for Hurricane to hold on? No. Kiting backwards, Cure, his control impeccable. The shield battery is going to help, but will it be enough? The Warpin's coming through here, but there's just so much back behind this for Cure. Widow Mines and continual reinforcements. Cure's push holds.
Yeah, I don't think Hurricane can ever muster up an army to deal with this. He has Disruptors on the way, but it's kind of too late, honestly.
I think it might just be, there might be some DT shenanigans possible, but that's going to do it. GG, Cure will tag game number 1. Hurricane taps out and has his back up against the wall.
Yeah, he really just needed to buy that time for Disruptors. He couldn't find it, honestly. The DTs did nothing. The counterattack really didn't do anything. Like, Cure just had full control of that game. Really off the back of the DTs doing nothing, in my opinion. Questionable decision-making. Cure playing that phenomenally.
No, he really did. And I really do think that there's such star power in StarCraft 2. So when you see guys like Hurricane or like Cure, neither of whom has participated in all 3 GSL seasons this year, you can start to lose sight that they are still very, very talented players. Top 100 in the world easily. So maybe that's a little bit too inclusive, but it should show you that these guys are still very, very strong and capable of going all the way, even against great players like Stats, who will be waiting for the winner of this series.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks if you take out one of these guys and your next guy is Stats. You know?
I mean,
like if you're Hurricane and you take out Cure, you're like, yes, I beat Cure.
It's like when you scan and you're trying to find your opponent's army. You scan, you see that it's twice your size, and it's like, okay, well, maybe that's not the information you wanted. So maybe a little bit of a silver lining. We'll see who does make it on to the next match, and if Hurricane come back.
Fight.
In the blue, he is...
Jin Air Green Wings, Cure.
And his opponent in the red in the upper right-hand corner. This is Lost and Found. He is...
Meliora Esports, Hurricane.
Oh, I love the deep guttural Hurricane. Makes him sound super awe-inspiring and epic, and then you look down there, and I think, I don't know, not the most intimidating factor IRL, but in-game, this guy is crazy, he's a monster, and I'm glad that he's been practicing so hard because he will need every little bit of that preparation to come back against Cure and advance on to face stats.
Yeah, I think Hurricane just needs to get into a position where he kind of controls the tempo of the game. I think that's when he would really start to excel, because clearly when Kira gets into that spot, he can be really, really hard to break.
And you can tell that all of Hurricane's builds are designed at getting him into a position where he can dictate that tempo, but especially when his DT tech fails or gets scouted, like has happened both times against Innovation and then against, or not against Innovation. What am I thinking of?
Against Stats?
Yeah, against Stats, and then Cure, it hasn't been what he needs to get that tempo advantage.
Yeah, I'd like to see him just go Twilight into Blink this game. No Stargate or no DT. I think he could really do well. I don't know why he wants to do this crazy stuff. He just needs to get into a position where he can play the late game, play it out, and I think he's a really strong late game player in general. If I can recall correctly, when he did beat Kira, he was playing late game against Kira in IEM. So I'd like to see him do that again.
I mean, we'll see if he can scout for any kind of crazy proxies up there on the high ground in the northeast, or northwest rather, but no player going to find anything just yet. Pretty standard start to the game on
first Stalker,
both
I would
sides.
say this is probably a Twilight console. We'll have to see if he gets a second Stalker.
I mean, we've seen kind of a tendency to go for a Blink or something along those lines, but with a Robo on the way, yeah, this is going to be something a little different.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we see a Robo in ZVT or TVP today.
Yeah, it's either been Stargate or, I guess what was the other build? I guess DT or Blink. So.
Yeah, interested to see how he's going to use this Robo. Wonder if it's Robo into Twilight. Probably, right?
Robo into another Robo.
That's not a thing.
More Robos than we know what to do with. Where's Colossus tech in TVP?
I think Colossus have fallen out quite a bit.
I really do. Colossus and Disruptors both have sort of taken a nosedive, unless you're just really well known for your control of those units.
The biggest thing, the reason the Colossus nosedive is because Marauders are so much stronger now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You ever see Marauders dive Colossi? They just die so quickly.
You do the Maru where you carpet bomb them out of Medivacs right on top, and just Colossi, they trip really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Trying to get in there for a scout. Will he see the Robo? The answer is a yes. So he will get in there.
I don't think this is a huge, like, crazy moment where you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, this is not insane. Honestly, Robo is still viable. Like, observers are really strong still. Like, getting map awareness and figuring out what's going on, it's just a really strong thing. I think this is where Hurricane in general
But this is where we see the real sort of tech choice. Double gases being thrown down does sort of indicate that there will be that support bait coming down. It's on the way, and I'm curious to see what it's going to be. Is it going to be Disruptors now that they don't have landing lag after you drop them out of Warp Prisms, or will it just be a lot of Colossi, like you said, are very vulnerable to Marauders now?
I would say 100% this is Disruptor drop. So we'll have to see. I think Disruptor drop is actually a great way to keep that tempo, like we were talking about before.
Yeah, absolutely. I could really catch Cure off guard. This is not a build that you expect by any means, and with that Reaper getting taken out, it's going to take a scan to catch wind of this.
Yeah, seeing a Robo again, it's not a huge tell, so... Oh, it's actually Colossus.
Okay, well, we're just way off here today, guys.
Colossus drop, maybe?
This is what happens when Tastosis isn't here. But to be fair, this is a little bit wacky, and I don't know how he's going to handle just massive amounts of Marauders.
That's Warp Prism speed, right?
It is.
So he's getting Colossus drop. This is actually just not a thing.
No. This
like,
yeah. Make no mistake, guys.
We don't see this very often, guys.
How many Colossi fit in a Warp Prism? That's a 1. Can you warp Colossi in? No. So the ways to make this work are just a little bit few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see how it goes.
I mean, I would have expected Disruptor drops, right? You drop the Disruptor, blow stuff up, haha.
Maybe you can follow it up with Disruptors?
Maybe you drop the Colossi and you
I still feel like you want he was getting range, no? Or he just, oh, never mind. He was getting this upgrade off the RoboBay. I honestly have no idea. I'm not even going to call anything anymore because it's just going to look weird. Like, anything I say at this point is just going to be wrong because I have no idea.
Okay.
Here's some second Colossus. Maybe, I really don't understand the warp prism speed. Like, what's he going to do? He can't really go Colossus
what's odd about this is that, you know, you live with the guy, and even you haven't seen this kind of craziness. I mean, maybe Neve's been honing this build.
Yeah, maybe they're even keeping it a secret from me.
With him. Aha, that's the real mind game. When you fake Jake out. Okay, well, here we go. A drop in. Will this scout the tech? It's going to see the bay, but will it know if it's... oh, no. Is he going to snipe extended thermal lance? That would be absolutely huge. He can't do it, but it does reveal that the Colossus is out.
Oh, this is cute.
Boom.
If only it was a slight bit faster.
Yeah, and if only it was a real Phoenix. Unfortunately not. But either way, it is going to be Colossi, and now Cure knows about it.
Yeah, you could do a Zealot drop with a Warp Prism speed.
Zoom!
Yeah.
The fastest Zealot drop you've ever seen. I mean, I don't know. Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes. Oh! Oh my god, no.
And boom goes the dynamite. Cure with the one Marine there just to finish it off because he knows that it won't one-shot it.
Oh my god, I can't even believe that.
I
feel like the Marine was blocking the Warp Prism, so you could, or the
Widow Mine, right.
Yeah. This is really bad, by the way, guys, if you couldn't tell. just want to emphasize
it. No. Let's practice our alphabet here. G, 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 G. This is going to be rough to hold on. The stim takes out extended thermal lance. That is denied, and so might be the game here. A huge drop at the most vulnerable moment for Hurricane as he was out of position. Snipes extended thermal lance and the support bay. What a god. Cure. Just unstoppable.
He killed his own Zealots there with his Disruptor, too. That hurts a lot to watch.
See, I thought that what hurt the most was being so close and watching you walk away, but instead it's actually killing your own Zealots. And actually, round 2 here is just going to be maybe the nail in the coffin. As Cure, attacking from 2 directions at once, will win in the main for a little bit. And he's going to take down the third base, force to cancel there as well.
Yeah, to be honest, this is still 2 base versus 2 base, but he can't really sustain these losses and not be falling really far behind.
I mean, it's 70 supply to 43 when it comes to the army. And
these are 43 Protoss army supplies. I just want to remind you, Rapid.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, no regret. Bias aside, all the units that Cure is making are good against all the units the Hurricane has already. And the extended thermal lance realistically will never be completed this game, barring it continuing for another 20 minutes or so.
Maybe if a Disruptor does like amazing damage, just kills
all right, I believe. Like, how optimistic are we?
That's pretty much like the only situation I can really think of.
I mean, the only thing I've seen from Disruptors here is that they can kill a lot of Zealots.
Yeah,
so hopefully things can look a little bit better. Oh, mass feedbacks and immediately morphing to Archons. Those can finish. Maybe there's some hope here, but I don't see a whole lot of it.
I think at this point, you're just kind of licking your wounds. Even if you can defend this, you can't. The Widow Mine's going to go up.
No! It does hit Probe 17 go down. I don't know how much licking it'll take to repair his wound this time around, but he's going to need a lot of it. I mean, eventually these Colossi should be able to clean it up, but it's too much damage done. GG Cure takes game number 2 to eliminate Hurricane from the GSL Codex.
That hurts, man.
It really does. I mean, for Cure, he definitely deserved his win, but it still is sad to see Hurricane go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was there watching him practice and putting all that hard work in, so it's really hard to see him like go out like that. But hopefully he gets more motivated to do better next season. Hopefully we see him again.
If anything is the silver lining is that we get this sick Pendulum remix by BK, so I'm glad that we have that to kind of salve our wounds. We'll be taking a quick break while we take stock of everything and come back with our last match, Cure versus Stats.
I'm like MG up in the clouds. I know it sounds awkward. Filthy as charged, filthy as charged. You're a sweet talker. But darling, what you gonna say now? The Midnight Marauders. The high you never come down, never come down. Got to keep it low. Yeah.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear. Wait! 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 Wait!
You are the monster. The thoughts left in my head. Thought you could save me.
2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Welcome back to our final match of Group C in the GSL Code as Cure has battled back from taking an 0-2 loss to Innovation. Can't blame him for that. Through Hurricane 2-0, and now his base is off against Stats. The winner will advance on to the round of 16.
They should really rename this group from Group C to Group 2-0 because we've had 2-0s every single match.
It has been a remarkably consistent day-to-day. I was going to say the other games, or the other days of GSL have actually been really back and forth.
Yes.
Lots of 2-1s, lots of comebacks, lots of upsets.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw Rainer go from 0-2 loss to 2-0 victory, right?
And actually, there's an interesting statistic. I saw it mentioned on Reddit that Tasteless and Artosis mentioned earlier, that if you lose 0-2 to a guy and then get the opportunity to come back and rematch him, there's a 60% chance that you make an upset. Which is just ridiculous because you think that if you get 2-0'd, you're more likely to be 2-0'd. But actually, it's the opposite way.
Yeah.
So that's just a kind of a crazy statistic to have.
Everyone should just lose their first 2-0, and then they can win the
But it's only if you get the rematch. If you don't, then it all falls apart. So this is not a rematch, but we will see who comes out on top. Cure versus Stats.
Ooh, this is a good map.
Oh boy, it is
Eastwatch.
a good map. It's Eastwatch, and already with an SCV out on the map in the blue. Wait, do we get to intro this guy?
I don't know. Well, we were proxying, so sometimes.
Okay, all right, back to the intro, guys. We're doing things a little out of order.
What is going on? I don't even want to. I'm not even gonna predict anything. I mean, I predicted a Rex.
Okay. Okay, let's be Korean commentators. You ready?
Maybe this might be like a fake kind of.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's fake proxy, right? So you proxy back at home, your Protoss opponent goes crazy, pulls all of his hairs out, gets out on the ground and rolls around, and you get an advantage from that.
I think it's very possible. I mean, like a proxy Rex in this location doesn't make any sense. Like logistically, just doesn't make any sense. Like you're too far away to actually even like view the factory or something.
This is where Cure's split personality is really not working out because he's proxying himself.
I'm just curious what he's going to do with this. Maybe he makes a Reaper just like a normal game, lifts it, and then lands it back at home.
Would you say you are curious?
Sure.
Waited for that one. Now, in response to this, we'll see how Stats wants to work. He's not going to actually throw down his natural. He had the probe position for it.
Of course he's not. He's going to be like, wait, where's your stuff? Of course he's not taking it.
So
Look
actually, this is actually paying off. He will delay the expansion.
And like I said, he's just building a Reaper. It looks like it's just going to be a normal game. If he builds a CC here, I am leaving. I'm getting up and leaving.
No way.
Why would you?
My man.
Okay.
Oh, proxy factory. So I think there's a way that this looks a lot like some form of like a TY kind of build.
Like a Marauder proxy?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure exactly if the timings work out.
I actually don't, like he's lifting this back like I predicted, but I don't understand why you proxy a factory after doing this, because your Protoss opponent should be assuming this is proxy factory. You know what I mean? Like you're like, where's the factory? Where's the Rex? Has to be proxy factory, right? So it seems a little bit strange to me to go for a proxy factory after showing that it's proxy factory.
And especially if he shows the Reaper. He hasn't done that yet. So still, Stats is a little bit in the dark. But if there's any player that can see in the dark, it's Stats. He's done such a good job all day today of reading builds without actually scouting the tech.
Here comes the first Cyclone. This is a pretty interesting.
Okay, here's the starport proxy.
I think he should just lift his CC.
This is what Terran has looks like, by the way.
Yeah, we should just take our CC and move it because there's no reason to have any buildings.
Yeah, why don't you
just
distance mine for the rest of the game? I mean, that would work out, right?
I mean, like just land it somewhere else. Like you should have no buildings in your main base if you're a Terran player.
Look at how long this natural expansion has been delayed by this, by the way.
Yeah, but at the same time, well, I mean,
he's rallied back at home too. So even if this factory gets scouted, okay, well,
so it's literally just completely standard. He just has his buildings on the map.
This is like prehistoric Terran ancestors. You know, they don't live in one place. They build like random Terran yurts out on the savannah.
I think. By the way, sorry to cut off your cute.
Oh man, I had like another paragraph to go.
Yeah, I know.
I think you just saved us all, no regret.
I I think that Stats actually, again, is like a blind man. He just knows this nothing crazy is coming.
Are you saying he has the superpower of being able to hear really good?
Yeah. We might need to
Hears
check
really
his,
good.
We have to check his noise blockers or something.
Call him the Daredevil Protoss because he can see without seeing.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, though. Playing Oracle is safe. You know, like it's really safe against pretty much everything.
Uh-huh.
And
he's finally getting a natural.
He's finally going to get the scout off, too, and know that this is just a fake, really.
Wait a second.
Your buildings are in your main.
That Rax wasn't there before? Okay.
Oh, interesting stat. Legacy of the Void. Cure actually has advantage over Stats.
Really?
Apparently, 3-2.
Man, those
Not
Lima League
stat,
cups really kick in. I think that is offline. So, yeah, it says offline there. So, you'd imagine it would be. But offline, that's really surprising.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to... What?
Maybe IM or something? I honestly don't know.
I guess.
What other... maybe GSL. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm going to have to go check
we'll
that
have to
out
look it
because
up.
I did not expect that. So Cure with the advantage, okay. I mean, I would never root against Stats because he's just so solid and he's made it so deep in so many tournaments. GSL champion, you got to root for this guy. But Cure is on fire today, and if there's anybody that can do it, it's him.
I really like the mind game so far, though. I think that's just really kind of a cute mind game. There's no reason not to do it, I think.
Is this the new future of all my ladder games?
I hope not.
I scout everything, I see nothing. I don't have the oracular sense, the prescience of
What?
stats.
These SCVs blocked it.
No. Okay, well.
I mean, getting in there, just seeing the stim is nice, but like, oh, okay, we have the 3 oracles. Now, this
Yeah,
is
where
enough
did
to
those guys
one-shot.
come from? Okay.
Not blocking his own supply depot this time. That's nice.
Okay, already. Improvement. Get the
Okay,
golf
he actually
clap
has
for that.
he can do a lot of damage here.
Yeah,
1,
absolutely.
2.
Oh my god, this just kills
4,
SCV
5,
so
yeah.
fast. Gonna save it from...
He can go back in again if he wants. I didn't. He stopped them. I think he could have gotten a couple more workers on the reactor here, but that's
You can
okay.
actually snipe
Or
some
refinery.
with some cute, like, true micro here.
Oh my god, if he gets that, that would be insane.
No, oh, it forces a cancel on stim.
Wait, he actually can cancel it.
Does he have enough? There's no way he has enough energy to cancel a second stim, right? Oh, I guess he banked that
He
for a
just
long
canceled it
time.
anyways.
No way.
Why do you keep
Oh
canceling
my
it?
god, this is insane.
There's nowhere else for him to build it either. Like, he canceled it. There's no other tech labs, so you're not.
Holy expletive, Batman. This is incredible. I mean, granted, it's good to have that high a cyclone count if you're going to have your stim canceled, but he's starting it up again. This is going to be the latest stim ever.
The biggest thing here, too, is he kept the oracles alive and have high HP, so he could go back in and kill more workers still.
Those triple oracles, man, banking them really does pay off. He's
Yeah.
raking in the interest right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now.
But he does
though
still have to
doesn't
live back at home.
And he also doesn't have vision of this. This can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Blink finishes, in which case this is just one-sided.
I mean, Blink's a long way away here, so maybe this is Cure just saying, hey, you spent too much energy trying to stop my stim.
Really like the shield battery, by the way. Like, you're taking a gold base, you might as well get it. It's quite risky not to, so it's nice. Could he come back and kill it again? Come on.
No.
He could totally do it. He's
No
going to get it
way.
again.
Stop it. Just let him live.
Look, he can't.
No,
No,
you can't repair. Okay, master.
Come on, just kill the SCVs now.
Yeah, just
here
kill
we
the
go.
SCVs. He's going to
This
lose
is a
so many
great trade, yeah.
SCVs.
Okay.
Slap stop of Terran base. This baby can fit so many dead Marines. Oh my god, this is just incredible play by Cure, or by Stats rather. For Cure, I'm guessing he just never, or has
like, the
never
stim
expected this.
Yeah, 5 SCVs go down. That's quite nice, but the stim at least survives. Like, getting it canceled again would
Is
just
that
be
really our
ridiculous.
consolation prize?
Yeah, at least you get stim.
At least you can have an 8-minute stim finish or something crazy like that.
At least your essential upgrade gets. Oh!
No way!
Now that's
All right.
a consolation prize.
There
I'll
we
take that
go. The
sentry.
bonus. The extra shot. Now the Zealot in that line of sight blocker is going to scout Cure's army.
Stay quiet. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
Say,
nice.
if
One
you're
shot
very
to
quiet, this Zealot will be perfectly fine. Shh. Yeah, it's too late now.
Hunting Wascoey Tailwinds.
Oh,
wait,
what?
what are
Where'd the
those
boys
doing
come
up
from?
here? Was that miss rally?
No, there's no way.
There's
You don't
no
miss
way.
rally half
There's
your
no way you miss rally that
You
many.
can't.
So
wait,
that's
these
the,
aren't supposed to be here. Turns around. Like.
Well, he can't turn around at this point. He is way too committed, and he's gonna have to go for it. There's only one Widow Mine.
No,
Or is there two?
No,
There's,
I mean, like, Stats in a great spot.
there's a couple, but yeah, he saw it early. He gets to prepare. He has a shield battery of all things to back him up this
Getting
time.
backed up in the corner, though.
Force
nice
fields
pick up
behind
on these,
this.
these Marines, though. This is really, really good spot for Stats to be in.
Absolutely.
He's up against a shield battery and a bunch of force fields.
Those Cyclones can't even fire, and ultimately Cure is not even going to be able to burrow. Okay, he gets the burrow
Widow
out.
Mines?
Okay,
Oh, I get the Oracles coming back. Dude, there's 3 Marines here. Just go with the Oracles.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I guess the mine.
Well, yeah, the mines might be scary.
Oh, the mines are actually done. No, just go. I think he should go on the offensive now.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he can even chase for the Oracle.
He doesn't need to do this because he killed all the SCVs. But hey, you can't.
Yeah, there's only like 4 Marines for this army.
Look at these Oracles. They're literally never dying. Okay, gets 1.
Gets 2, gets
That's
3.
Still 100% worth it.
Yeah, but he lost everything else at this point.
Oh my god, the sight blockers. MVPs.
Okay, blink back away.
A little bit unnecessary, but I think why not, I guess? You're so far ahead.
Well, I mean, at some point, Keurig has to realize he's down 20 workers. So
yeah, now it's time for the second pull. Except don't leave anything at home. Just pull all the boys. Bring your buildings too.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Is it time for that?
I mean, if you don't do it, you're dead. He's got a gold base. Like, you're super dead if you don't pull your boys.
I mean, I think every second, Kier becomes more and more super dead than he was before.
Yeah, but I mean, pulling the boys is pretty much the only thing you can do here.
You're
not winning, like, the game just continues.
He's not waiting on any upgrades. I think he's just waiting on a couple of more production cycles, but why
I think he's going to do another boy pull. It makes the only thing that makes sense to me. Like, you're not investing in upgrades, you're not investing in economy. Though he is building 2 Raxes, which is a little bit strange to me.
Yeah, what?
Okay,
I mean, here it goes.
Look at that. The boys are coming. This is round number 2.
You called it as if you could see it ahead of time. Yeah, this is round 2.
They call me the stats caster.
Do they, though?
Yeah, they do.
All right. We'll have to keep doing that. Either way.
Okay. Round 2, boys.
The Daredevil toss has seen through everything and has so many zealots. There's another car salesman meme there, but there's a lot of them. And I think this is just going to look like a repeat performance for stats stopping Terra and aggression. There's a lot of mines there, but I feel like maybe the friendly fire might be the most valuable asset here.
Okay, that could have been really bad. You're right. The friendly fire would have been insane. Okay.
Oh
no, not my one worker at home. Oh god.
Here we go. Burrow on those mines to stop some of the friendly fire. Zealot's count is actually getting thinned out, but so is the SCV count. That means that I don't know how much longer Kier can hang on here. He does have very strong reinforcing Marauders, and the mines coming up might be very valuable.
I mean, this is going okay, considering what it was. Like, this should have been the most one-sided stop we've ever seen, especially with the first fight. This fight is being dragged out so far. Oh, wow, beautiful force fields. All these Zealots kind of taking out a lot of these Marauders. At this point, you really can't win this fight.
Just how good are Marines and Marauders? No regret.
The biggest unfortunate thing is these Zealots cleared up the boys for the 3rd pull. So now you can't pull your workers a 3rd time, which is really unfortunate.
You only got 17 left, and I think, yeah, this is just going to be stats, maybe even blinking forward. Doesn't want to risk heading into mines, but...
Now we got to build up our boy count. Get ready for the 3rd pull. Okay, Mule's going down. I have to imagine you're probably about to GG here. Maybe goes for this last push, but like this is the last push.
Or really back at home. I don't think there is anymore. I think this is just going to be our final fight.
You see stats being offensive when there's literally no workers. I mean,
GG. That's going to do it. Stats takes game number 1 against Kier. It looked maybe a little close there for a while with the wackiest start we've seen all day, but in the end, the Daredevil toss sees through his blindness and is able to hold on, take game number 1.
Yeah, I really liked Kier's decision making. Honestly, you see a gold base like that, you have to imagine that they're a little bit, vulnerable. So I really don't fault him for doing that. I think it had the best shot of just winning the game straight up, and if you're playing a monster like Stats with a gold-based deficit, I have to imagine you're feeling pretty bad, pretty uncomfortable with that. So hopefully Kier can overcome any disadvantages he's put himself in with this 1-0 advantage going to Stats.
Yep, absolutely. If Kier can come back, it would be A, our first non-2-0 of the day, so I'm hoping for it, but B, it would still be a little bit of an upset. I feel like rooting against Stats is always, uphill battle. Checking a legal act, and it was 30% chance for Kier to come out on top. See if he can thread the needle on the stats.
Yeah, thread the needle on the stats.
Take out stats.
Yep.
It sounded better in my head, no regret. So let's go into the Catalyst and see if Kier can make the comeback or if Stats will take our 5th 2-0 of the day and advance on to the round of 16 to get into our second map on Catalyst.
Match 2, fight.
Now, the question is, Are we just building our barracks on the map, or is this an actual proxy?
How proxied is this proxy?
I think this is an actual
proxy.
I mean, we're past the halfway mark, so I imagine.
No. The Ultra Mind Game proxy.
I mean, you have to, it's too far to fly at that. Wait, is he gonna do the? Is he gonna do the Zest thing? If he, okay, you know what? I'm done.
Is this perhaps the first place he scouts? No.
That would be
Okay,
insane.
all right.
That would be insane if Stats like, is there a proxy here? And just like scouts it. We're like, okay,
At
somebody
that point,
check his sound blockers.
You just unplug your keyboard. You walk up.
Yeah, you're like, is he looking back? Like, come on.
you like lean over. You're like, did he look backwards? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far so good. I wonder if this is the Marauder proxy. Like this location, I would assume it could be. It would be really good for.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect that, but I mean, what can you expect? So this is cool from Cure because he's prepping Stats. He's saying, look, Stats, you scouted the fake proxy in the last game. Now maybe Stats is going to expect another fake proxy this time.
That's a great point. That's actually a great point. At this point, you have to be doubting yourself. Although, did Stats just get... No, never mind. For a second, I thought that was a probe there. Is there a bunker going up? Is it engineering
No,
bay?
I think he's just engineering bay.
That's really nice, by the way.
So no chance
but
of a natural...
But it is a Reaper.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
I think the factory is the factory at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
The factory's at home. You know, there's always a way in which you could still, rally out across the map, but this probe is still going to get a complete scout on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to imagine that Kira's just trying to make it really hard for Stats to take his natural expansion. I mean, with an engineering bay already here. Also, there's a pretty quick Zealot here, which doesn't really do much against
You're
Reaper.
going to get one probe. Stargate now on the way.
Yeah, Stargate in reaction to Proxy, obviously. It's pretty good defensively and offensively. Doing a pretty good amount of damage. Nothing too crazy, but killing one probe, right? So that's still nice.
Okay, he landed the... Okay, all right. What a jerk.
Good luck killing this, guys. That is going to take a really long time.
Well, we're going to be here for a while, no regret. I mean, that probe's also going to be here for a while, scouting out everything inside of Cure's main, but realistically, the natural for our Protoss player will be a very far ways away.
It's going to take even longer now because the Adept's chasing the space. I scouts the Stargate. That's quite nice.
You might could have inferred that just because it is good against proxies. And that's
this is when you send an SCV to finish that engineering bay.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
you can build a turret. That would be an insane.
Okay, yeah, that would be the ultimate BM. But instead, just this feels Zergman, right? You have your natural denied, so you have to build your expansion in a forward base.
I don't feel bad for Stats at all, honestly. This is like 50% of Zerg games. It's just like kind of your taste of your own medicine, to be honest.
And as we all know, medicine in general tastes pretty bad. So eventually, he's going to clear out the natural.
Losing the barracks is kind of annoying. It's not a huge deal.
I mean, he's already about halfway done to building another one back at home. It's not like he's going to build another factory anytime soon. He's actually double expanding.
Yeah, I mean, double expanding and you don't have a barracks. That seems completely logical.
When you put it that way, yeah, he is not going to have a whole lot to hang on back at home.
I guess it's got to be heavy Cyclone because it's the only thing that you can actually use to defend yourself here.
Yeah, he's going to be reactoring out Cyclones back at home. So hopefully that will allow him to hold on. There's going to be another Oracle behind Oracle Adepts coming out.
3 Cyclones would definitely be able to defend this. But 1 Cyclone, I think you can actually just run by it with your Oracle, but it doesn't really kill workers. Like 1 Oracle doesn't kill workers quick enough, I think. So you should just wait. You might be able to get the shot off on the Oracle here. Really? That's a lot of Oracles, or a lot of Cyclones, yeah.
Indeed they are. So the defense should be pretty possible. If you run too many into that stasis ward, all of a sudden crazy things can happen.
He's trying to send the SCV. Look at him. He's trying.
Oh, so cute. All right. Kira holds on against, I guess, a tiny little cheeky move.
That's very cute. It's really nice that he scouted it, by the way. Like, that could have been really bad. Imagine 3 Cyclones get caught here. You literally have nothing. That is your entire army that got caught by a stasis ward.
Well, when he comes out with 5 Cyclones, he should be able to push Stats back. And then I'm not sure Stats will expect the triple expand after this. Or, well, not triple expand, but 3 bases quite this quickly.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I think seeing the Cyclones kind of puts you up to a little bit like what's going on? Why do you need to do that kind of thing?
I mean, he could always be going like Battle Mech or something after this, right?
Battle Mech?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't seen any bio.
This is not Gumiho.
No, okay. I can look down there and read the name. I'm just trying to theory craft here.
Oh my god, 3 oracles.
3 oracles. Is this just going to be what we see all day long? Stats just dominated with this in the last game, killing off, I think, 3 tech labs, 2.5 tech labs, I guess, and stopping Stim for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, don't fix what isn't broken, right?
I think that is the way it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so massive amounts of cyclones.
You know what he could do? He could build turrets.
He already has one back at home.
No, I mean like with his cyclones.
Oh, you mean at the front? Yeah, the aggressive hard push turrets.
Because these are really good
against... He doesn't have the mines burrow. That's unfortunate. He's going to actually kill both mines! Oh, what a god. Oh, stats. He's so fine.
He's going to get Stim again?
Blows my mind. No! No! There's going to be a permanent part of Cure's brain that is damaged because of that. Losing Stim 2 games in a row?
Either. Like, really, it's not enough.
He's going to have to go for it. Yeah, I mean, he needs to build a turret or something. I think Stats just holds this?
Actually, those Widow Mines really saved the day. I think he should have held this, but at this point... Oh, he's going to collapse the rocks.
Oh, that would be so sick!
Oh, he's going to get the rocks. That's really annoying.
Oh my god, that means Stats has to go the long way around or break his way through. Granted, those oracles aren't doing anything, but this is going to be able to kill the base.
I kind of wish he would build turrets. Like, if these oracles ever come home, these cyclones are super dead. I mean, they might already be super dead. Yeah, he should win this fight for sure.
Okay, he is going to win the fight, but at what cost, right? He killed the Nexus and several
These 2 SCVs are just healing each other.
Expert tanks.
Yeah, those SCVs were super greedy. They're just like, no, we could heal the Cyclones, but we'll just heal each other.
So I don't think we got a chance to see exactly all the damage that those oracles did in the background, but they did stop Stim again.
Needs to build 3 turrets around that tech web. Because clearly it's going to get sniped again.
Okay, cheeky Widow Mine.
Shh, everyone stay quiet.
Shh. No way. Hey, okay, 4, not bad.
I think he could have got more than that.
Absolutely. If he had targeted...
Oh, look at this. This is cute. Stalker trapped it.
Oh, so it can't run away. No way.
That was very cute, yeah. Warping 2 stalkers around it.
That's pretty sick. All right. Minorly pimp this play right there. But either way, these triple oracles have been MVPs for Stats all series long.
Honestly, he could kill that.
He could absolutely go back in from the far side.
Yeah. All right. Is he going to get another one? Maybe off the Zealots this time? Oh, 1 probe.
He's going to retarget it.
Oh, that's so cute.
There we go. He saves it. Nothing to retarget it to there.
That was very cute.
It was. Who was it that we saw do that first? I think it was Gumiho. Just like mass retargeted until he killed a bunch of probes.
It's probably Gumiho. Look at he's doing it again.
There it goes. All right, he finally takes it down. It's a cool play, right?
Yeah,
but in the end, behind this, Cure still has 3 bases. So
I mean, Cure is not in a bad spot. It's just not in a good spot.
Well said.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing much to say about that. Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh my god, he's so good.
He's too so good. The guy I normally credit with just epic Oracle micro is like True. That's really, really good.
True. Yeah, I love my...
Or not True. What am I thinking of? Trap. There we go. I got the TR right.
True's Oracle micro.
True Zerg Oracle micro. Yeah, man, I love it when you just mind control those things and micro them. But yeah, Trap, his Oracle micro is always on point. But he's on Jin Air, so there's no way Stats learned that from that. He's just got to be a god. So finally, Stim Pack completes. I never thought we'd see the day, no regret.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm honestly surprised, too. I'm surprised we haven't seen the boys be pulled yet.
It's about time for it, honestly. I mean, 3 command centers will allow you to build quite a few of them. How does he know?
He's so good, yeah.
He is so good. I mean, just impeccable control.
He saved the cycle.
He sees without seeing again. The Daredevil toss strikes back. Is Catalyst actually located in Hell's Kitchen? We may never know.
Maybe.
It looks kind of like that. It's a desert landscape. But wow, Stats is actually in a pretty good spot at this point. He's been able to get 3 bases up and running.
I honestly like Cure's position. He's got a 3rd base. He's got 2-2 on the way. Like, honestly, he's in a pretty good spot.
Hey, and you know we've got Colossi with extended thermal lance coming out, so we're going to see that tech again.
Yeah, Colossus tech without like thermal lance is actually really risky. Like he has a window here where he could just die to something. This isn't a huge committed push.
I mean, thermal's just now starting, so it's going to be a long time until those Colossi are not at risk dropping to these very buffed Marauders.
Okay, this could be bad. I mean, if he was on top of this ramp, okay, he's backing up. So if he's on top of this ramp, that would be terrible for Kier, because one force field chops his army in half. But so far, I mean, Kier's just kind of bouncing from base to base here. I don't think he'll commit. I'd be surprised if he does. But he's kind of just forcing Stats to be honest.
Are there any Colossi out at all? I don't think there actually are. Okay, there's 2 right behind that just came out. So
this is way more than enough, though, to defend this. He needs to get those out of there.
Yeah, especially with that stasis. It's going to be good enough. Running a couple of little Zealots and just being annoying behind this. And Stats holds on. So this is going to allow for Thermal Lance to complete and maybe even +2/+2.
Yeah, I mean, the game continues for sure. I'm curious to see how Kier decides to deal with this. It looks like he's going with Liberators for now, which are okay. I think you really need the range to make them work, to be honest.
Range really important at dealing with Colossi, but not only do we not see range, I don't think there's even a fusion. Okay, the fusion core is about halfway done.
Yeah, okay, so he is going to go for it eventually. Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay, I see you. Okay, unfortunately, Marauders not great at sniping Warp Prisms, but either way, yeah, it was a little bit dicey there for a second.
Oh, he sieged up underneath a Widow Mine.
Nice.
Come on, Stats, you're better than that.
Unfortunately, Kier didn't have the Marine on top of it this time to be able to take that out.
Yeah, he is setting up for a counterattack. I really like the counterattack setup, especially when you're using Liberators like this defensively, because a Protoss player can't really just botch the attack. It needs to be, you know, methodically chosen. And you can't do that while you're dealing with a counterattack like this.
Ooh, gonna be forced to pull all the probes. That base might actually go down. I think we might actually have a base trade here, no regret.
What is Kier? I'm surprised Kier moved from that position. I guess he feels like he wouldn't be able to defend the spot.
Ooh, not able to pull any of those boys away. And a lost CC. This is just gonna be...
He needs to make this fight work. Oh! Okay,
whoa! Okay,
doesn't
huge deal. Catch everything, but still, I mean, you need to kill bases as fast as possible.
Okay, this is going to be huge here. Oh my god, all these workers, he needs to stay there.
Oh, but he sees the recall coming in.
I kind of wish he would have just sacked all those units for the rest of those probes.
I mean, as is, he's at a 10 worker disadvantage. His stasis worker or army is going to get taken out here. Here, I think,
and he's down a big loss, which is huge too. He's got +3 in the way. That's the only thing he has going for him, which is not a good spot to be in. I think that
he's going to have Liberator range here as well, and quite a few Libs actually in his army, so
this is a nice fast siege up. This is actually a pretty scary Terran army, and he's on top of the 3rd base again. This siege up really fast.
There are a bunch of Stalkers, so the blink in is going to have to be very good and decisive. Walking into those liberation zones right now, blinking forward, taking out these Liberators, but there's still one actually back in the back. It will still be firing, so that's a lot of Liberator shots. Stimming forward, those Marauders actually doing a really good job, and so are 3 extended Thermal Lance, Colossi in the back, which will crush the army, and the come from behind the flank was just a little bit slow from Kier.
I kind of wish he would have stimmed that into the natural instead of just backing it up right now, because it's not doing anything right now.
Blink. Hey, there we go.
If only Kier had a 3rd CC here. Because if he didn't kill Stats' 3rd base on top of all of that, going pretty poorly for Kier. Yeah, GG.
Oh no, wow, that's just the tap out. I guess he sees him too far behind, and that's going to do it. Stats with our 5th 2-0 of the day to take another trip to the round of 16, one of many for our legendary Splice Protoss player.
Yeah, group of 2-0s today.
Another 2-0, but I'm glad that, you know, even though it worked out like we might have expected with Innovation and Stats advancing, we did get to see very strong performances from guys like Kier, who had some really cool builds. Yeah, threw us off a little bit with some of those crazy proxies, but in the end, I think the script is still going according to plan, with Innovation and Stats making it out.
Yeah, I honestly think we could almost switch those two. As long as those 2 get out, that's definitely expected. Like, I think Stats could come out first in this group too.
Let's go ahead and hear from Kim Dae-up with Guri, and hear how he feels about joining the round of 16. So, hi Stats, he says hi back.
네,
So how do you feel?
일단 연습 때 좀 너무 많이 져가지고 사실 오늘 떨어질까봐 걱정을 많이 했었어요.
So when I was practicing, I actually lost a lot of games. So I was really worried that I wasn't going to make it out of my group today.
어떻게 될까 설레이면서 이렇게
So I was really nervous coming into today's game. So I was actually really indecisive. So I'm actually really relieved now that I've advanced to the round of 16.
시즌 1 때 조성주, 시즌 2에서 변현우, 그리고 승자전에서 이신영 계속해서
So season 2, so season 1 was Maru. Season 2? Innovation took you out in the winners match. So it seems like in the past seasons, Terrans have been the players to eliminate you the most. He says, I think I'm a very standard Protoss. So if I play very standard games, I hardly lose. So after the patch, Terran has improved a lot with stronger Marauders.
그렇다면 현재 그 테란들에 대해서 계속해서 고민을 하고 계실 것 같아요. 아까 이신영 선수가 이 밸런스적인 측면에서 테란이 좋은 거 맞는 것 같다 얘기를 했거든요. 김벽 선수가 혹시 현재 밸런스나 다른 부분에 있어서 원하시는 게 있나요?
Terran seems to be very good against Protoss. Are there any things that need to be changed? Do you think, Stats? Well, I also think something needs to be changed about PvP. I feel like Marauders seems way too strong right now and might need to be nerfed back down a little bit. And a player like me, like a standard Protoss player, are really having a hard time dealing with Terrans right now. But when I see non-standard Protoss like SOS and Hero, they seem to actually be doing very okay in recent patches, even with the Marauder buff. But standard Protoss players like me are really having a hard time.
저번 16강 조지 명식은 사실 실패갔거든요.
So for group nominations, you were the seeded player in GSL versus the world.
그 지난 조지 명식에 대한 생각은 어떠신지?
But it seems like last year the group nominations were very unsuccessful.
저는 당연히 제가 이길 줄 알고
last time
있었거든요. 근데 두 번
players asked me to pick him.
떨어지게 되는데 다음부터는
so I thought I was very confident. They're talking about Bjorn because Bjorn actually asked him to pick him in the round of 16, and he lost.
자, 이렇게 김배호 선수
So they're asking him about
다음을 기약을 하게 됐는데요.
this season of round of
이번
16.
시즌 현재는 어쨌든 블리즈컨은 안정권이에요. 그래도 어떻게 목표를 잡고 계신가요?
Terran's just really hard to deal with right now.
블리즈컨은 블리즈컨이고.
So since you're making it to BlizzCon guaranteed by now.
뭐 그슬대 월드
how do you feel? He says, you know, I'm not really thinking too much about BlizzCon.
들어가기 전에 하나.
You know, I'm actually just focusing on this season of GSL right now. I'm not really thinking about BlizzCon yet. So we're also having GSL versus the world.
네, 알겠습니다. 김대엽 선수 앞으로도 응원하겠고요. 마지막으로 팬들에게 한마디 부탁드릴게요.
One game at a time.
오늘도 이렇게 찾아주셔서.
So do you have any words to your fans who are supporting you today? Says thank you to supporting me and coming down to the studio today.
준비하고 노력하고 있으니까 16강전도 많이 기대해 주세요.
I continuously practice really hard, very consistently. So please look forward to my games in the round of 16. So that is going to do it for our winners interview, and that is going to do it for today's matches. You can see our results from Group C. 2-0s across the board with Stats taking out Hurricane, Innovation over Cure. Innovation also taking out Stats, and then eventually Stats advancing over Cure, who took out Hurricane.
I'd say this is the first group without an upset this season.
Yeah, this really did go according to plan. Even though Cure did have a leading
game against
games against he did get eliminated there. This is a look at our upcoming Group D that will be coming up this weekend on Saturday at 1 p.m. KST.
I'm looking forward to it.
MMA,
this is a group of crazy.
Hero,
We've got Hero and
Solar. Yeah, it's exciting to see MMA back. MMA and Parting will both be participating. The old boys coming back, and it's just going to be very, very exciting to see him back. And yeah, lots of craziness. Hero might be bringing some cheese.
Yeah, Gumiho too, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to this group. I mean, I'd say Solar is probably the most standard player.
Really?
I mean, I guess MMA maybe.
There could be a lot of crazy stuff going on. So it's going to be exciting to see what is in store. But that's going to do it for today's broadcast. Big shout out to, apparently we have quite a few fans staying up very late in Hawaii to watch us today. Also a big shout out to Marine King Prime, whose birthday it is today. And of course to all of you for watching us tonight. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on Saturday.
There's a place at the end of the
road. 2018 GSL Season 3 Rock Shield.